the Mitsubishi Challenge. Proudly brought to you by Chicken Treat. I've got the taste. Coca-Cola. Always jammin', always Coca-Cola. Ian Dippin, World of Tires. McDonald's, where it's Mac time. And Mitsubishi. Please consider.
Here we go.
It's the penultimate week of the Mitsubishi Challenge regular season, and the Perth Wildcats still face the daunting task of gaining a top 4 playoff spot. For Illawarra, it's all a matter of pride. Unfortunately, the Hawks will miss a finals appearance for the first time in 5 seasons. This is no picnic. Reputations are on the line as the Perth Wildcats take on the Illawarra Hawks.
The time to hesitate is through. No time to wallow in the
equation is simple for the Perth Wildcats. They must win their final 2 games to secure a top 4 spot. If they're off the boil tonight, it's a team like the Illawarra Hawks that could cause the upset. Hello and welcome to the Perth Entertainment Centre. It's blockbuster basketball in the Mitsubishi Challenge, the Perth Wildcats and the Illawarra Hawks as we near NBL playoff time. This is the way the standings are at present. The Perth Wildcats precariously placed in 5th spot, just behind the Adelaide 36ers. The Melbourne Tigers out on top with 19 and 4. Brisbane just inside the top 8. The bottom 6, you can see Illawarra Hawks. They are currently in 10th spot, can't make the playoffs, and the Newcastle Falcons, the only team that can sort of break into that top 8. The Geelong Supercats bringing up the tail. John Gardner, a bit of a sentimental moment for the Illawarra Hawks, the final appearance of Chuck Harmison tonight.
Tim, it's sometimes just that emotional edge that a team like Illawarra needs. Chuck Harmison's final game to lift them over a team such as the Wildcats. And even though the Hawks can't make the playoffs, they've been in great form of recent games. And the Wildcats tonight really have to concentrate on defence. Their defensive strategy must be to keep a team that's been scoring well over that 100-point margin for the last 4 or 5 games out of the scoring margins, and of course they must put the lid on Timmins in the Kiwi, who's had such a marvellous season. And if you look at the converse side for the Hawks will need Andre Lafleur to penetrate past the first line of defence, find the open hand of the outside shooters, and also the strength of Timmins in there and Zorna. So really the Hawks need penetration. On the sidelines again will be Mike Ellison. Mike, 9 points away from 10,000 for James Crawford. Tough tonight though, up against one of the impact players of the league this year.
Well, that's exactly right, and it will be tough. Marcus Simmons will make it very tough for him. But James, what a magnificent milestone that would be for one of the truly great players of the Mitsubishi Challenge. Let's have a look at some of his stats now. And there you go. Hailing from Peachtree, Alabama, way down in the south there. James averaging 13.5 points a game, 6.5 rebounds and 1.2 blocks this season. And he is still playing very, very good basketball, but he will be up against an up-and-coming star in Marcus Timmins. This guy is very exciting, got some big hops, can really dunk the ball with authority. He's averaging 22 points at 50% this season with 12.5 rebounds. That's pretty impressive, and I can tell you now this will be one very exciting matchup.
Ricky Grace under a bit of an injury cloud in the point guard role tonight. Aaron Trahair coming off one of the games he'd like to forget in the 2-guard role. And then the wall, Vlahoff, Fisher and Crawford looking to contain the front line of the Hawks.
And for the Hawks, also under an injury cloud, Andre Lafleur, Johnson in the off guard, Glenn Seville, who's been playing very well of late, Marcus Timmins and the big boy Matt Zorna.
And of course on the bench, Gardner at the backup point, Stewart in great form from range, Earp in the middle, Hansen looking for more minutes, and Vanderput.
And for the Hawks, that man Harmison in his last game, Dean McDonald, Matt Campbell, Greg Hubbard and Mr. Brandon to round off the bench.
4,929 points for Chuck Harmison, 2,963 rebounds in a career spanning 386 games. John Gardner.
And still enjoying it. Chuck Harmison really has been one of the legends of the Mitsubishi Challenge and has had an outstanding career. A little sad to see him leaving the game after tonight, but certainly has done us proud. And of course, the old nemesis there, James Crawford, looking for his 10,000th point. They both started in the Mitsubishi Challenge in 1982 together.
And 71 points tonight for Chuck Harmison. He'll pass the 5,000 mark.
He's hoping.
Big night right there.
Let's hope so. We're underway.
Oh, already Saville is putting a little muscle on Vlahoff, which is a fairly ambitious way to start the game.
You woke me up anyway, John. There's Vlahoff, the defence. There's Crawford. Can he get on the board early? In off the glass. 7 points away from 10,000 is James Crawford.
Johnson enjoying a good season out there. Well-balanced side, the Hawks. They really have been in outstanding form in the last 4 or 5 games, averaging 115 points out there, free-flowing, and that's the sort of offence they like, just as Johnson put it off the boards. The other end of the floor, Vlahoff just couldn't reciprocate. That'll be out of bounds off Timmins, and it will come back to the Wildcats for possession. Man in picture, Tim, he's had a big year this year, taking over from Melvin Thomas. Big shoes to fill, and he's stepped up very well.
Inbounds for Wildcats, Aaron Trahere. A bit down on form in recent weeks. Here's Vlahoff back into the bucket. Wants to take on Saville. Pass to Crawford. Bread and butter stuff. No, he's touched on the arm. To go to the line, James Crawford.
Well, he's probably going to display and orchestrate this. Brendan Joyce in his debut year with the Illawarra Hawks, coming off a double victory, back-to-back championships with the Ballarat men in the CBA, the Ballarat Miners. So he's certainly had a mixed season.
So a good start for James Crawford to get to the line. Okay.
I didn't say anything.
No, but you're about to.
I said nothing.
I'm just happy that he got to the line. He makes the second, so Wildcats are up by a point, and Crawford has got all 3.
Well, they'll probably get a 3-pointer, and one from the floor, then a jam, and the crowd will go bananas.
Timmins known for his jamming himself, shot from the 3-point range. Here's Grace. He do a lot of training during the week.
Oh, he had a tweak on an ankle there, bit of a twist and a roll.
Speaking of tweak, Trahare's nailed one from outside at 6-2 points.
Big start for Aaron Trahere. He went scoreless for only the 4th time in his NBL career last weekend, so we'd like to see a much more focused Aaron Trahere. Ricky Grace is not going to catch that with both feet in perfect health.
Roll reversal there, Crawford with the outlet, and the touchdown pass, and Grace didn't a bit proppy on that ankle, Mike.
Yeah, when he landed, I think he jumped to get it, didn't quite reach it, and then when he landed, probably a bit heavy. That foot's not warmed up really all that well at this point, I'd say.
Well, a tough job tonight now with LaFleur as well. LaFleur is one of the best point guards at driving the lane, finding the open player, and he relishes his contacts with Grace. And of course, LaFleur has had a groin strain coming into this game, and indeed was in doubt, but he's here, and so that'll be a good matchup.
I don't think he'd like to miss his last game in the 96 season.
No, I'm sure you're right, Michael.
Here's Timmins. He wants to spot up and shoot over the top of Crawford. He does. It doesn't go again, so he's 0 for 2 is Marcus Timmins. Here's Grace in transition as he cut through the keyway. Little give pass. Johnson got a hand in.
Good penetration on that left hand. Hasn't trained a lot. You're quite right, Tim. Might just be short of a bit of touch, and it'll be interesting to see how they rotate him off the bench. Ricky Grace, down somewhat on points production so far this year, has a career of 19 points per game, down to about 15, but playing the point a little more acutely, trying to find the open man.
It's Fisher. Struck back with some good points last week. Troubled by a knee injury since the Olympic break. Off the free throw line is Crawford. In, then out, Saville. He's doing some good work, Glenn Saville.
He's had a good year as well, Tim. He's stepped up for the 2nd year. It's an inside move. Zorner, he's had a strong move in there. There was that penetration we made mention of earlier. That'll be a travel. Johnson came up from the blind side, put the pressure on Ricky Grace, and perhaps that injury could have caused the travel as well. It'll be interesting to see. It's very early in the game to make those exceptions, but it'll be interesting to see just how nimble he is.
Johnson in the corner. Doesn't hit. Hands up. Timmins, well done. Crawford tapped it down to the running Grace. And the Wildcats, as he go all the way, he goose steps. Decides to try and take on LaFleur. Well done. Well done, Grace. And also Trahere to win back possession.
Little tentative. Wildcats settling into their half-court offence. Crawford at the top looking to throw it down, lead pass to Fisher, and Timmins put the lid on.
As you said, Mike, he can jump.
He can get up, and Fisher had absolutely no chance whatsoever of putting that ball in the hole. In actual fact, where he had the ball, it was behind the backboard. He could feel Timmins coming over the back, just stuck his backside out a little bit and caused the contact. Good effort.
Interesting with the situation so far. Wildcats having the better of the rebound battle. And of course the Hawks team put up a lot of shots. They put up something like 10 more shots per game than the Wildcats. So they're not afraid to throw them up. So there could be a lot of imbalance in the rebound.
Both from the stripe for Scott Fisher. Lafleur, the injured boys go at it. Lafleur and Grace. And Grace will be called for that foul.
Yeah, a little reach in there by Ricky Grace. And again, the penetration from Lafleur. That's his second or first. Is it from Grace? That's his first. We'll put Andre Lafleur on the foul line. Shoots at 80% this year from the foul line. You'd have to think they'd put a bit of pressure on him, Michael.
Well, we'll see what you can do, John.
Oh, never in doubt.
He scored 23 earlier this year in May when the Wildcats and Illawarra Hawks met in Illawarra. The Wildcats won by 3 on that occasion. He was the high scorer for the Hawks with 23, which has been much of the case this year. Good spread of scoring on that day. Zorner scored 20, Timmins 19, Hubbard 18 and Johnson 14. He's got a few avenues. Here's Truhead, now 1-3 already. No-look pass, another no-look pass from Grahov. Well done, Saville, to get rid of the ball from the hand of Crawford. They turned it over, Lafleur. Another no-look pass, Grace backs in. Through traffic, left-handed layup makes it. That is 4,000 points for Ricky Grace.
Yes, I think we talk about milestones. 4,000 points in the Mitsubishi Challenge is a tremendous effort, particularly from a point guard that also has to carry the responsibility of running the show. And that's exactly what Ricky Grace has done in that last 2-point layup.
In just over 200 games, Lafleur travelled.
Walk received the ball, jumped forward after he had received the ball. Little pensive air, Michael, around the court tonight. I mean, I'm not quite sure if the crowd know what to expect out there. They haven't seen a lot of Illawarra. They know that it's always difficult when teams go and play at home against Illawarra.
Well, these guys are very young, the majority of them, that is, and, you know, they are guys that just want to come out and play hard. And I was speaking to Brendan Joyce before the game, and he said that's a nice turnaround by Zorner, by the way. And he said that he was happy with the progress that his young kids have made. He felt that he's really brought them along, and they've stepped up and done a job in this Mitsubishi Challenge, and I've got to agree with him.
Yes, he's laid a good platform, of course, taking over in his first year from Alan Black, who moved on to the Sydney Kings and took with him Melvin Thomas, the main scoring threat. The Hawks have been rebuilding somewhat and developing.
The Wildcats get the ball back. Johnson's doing his best to stop Crawford's boot and gone over the line. The Wildcats lead 12 points to 8. And they're 0 of 4 from the three-point arc, Illawarra.
Timmins has had 2 of those, and he's not renowned as a three-point shooter, and they're not renowned as a three-point shooting team. They like to penetrate and find the open men when the defense makes the switch. You see this with Lafleur, looking to come in, takes the baseline, kicks it out to Johnson. That's certainly put the mark on it, Tim.
Bangs it down, 1 point the margin. Terry Johnson, the game high scorer early with 5.
I can tell you that none of these guys are shy, gentlemen, if nothing else.
They're always encouraged to shoot the rock, aren't they? Oh, there's a good backdoor situation by Vlahoff. He'll be disappointed. He couldn't just gather the ball in, and he stepped out of court.
Earlier this year in that game in Illawarra, the Hawks put up 29 three-point efforts and made 12. Perth just put up the 12 to make 6. So, as you say, Mike and John, they're not shy to shoot the ball.
They're not, Tim. They've been encouraged to shoot the ball if they're open. The shooting percentage is not great, but of course, as they develop, they will get better at that.
That was a give pass from Lafleur to Timmins. Good eye contact. And Grace is really tripping and stumbling and fumbling his way through off the leg of Johnson. Wildcats get possession, reset the shot clock.
Here in picture, number 13 will inbound the ball for the set play. Nothing quite happening, and he needs to get rid of it fairly quickly.
I'm not too happy with that set play. Didn't look all that effective, did it?
No.
Timmins, big board. Marcus Timmins.
Third best rebounder in the league, particularly offensively. Matt Zorner also has stepped up. Started with in the ACT, played with the Gold Coast, now coming of age with the Hawks as Johnson, who is a very good shooter, puts another one off the glass.
It's a tough bucket. He's got 7 points. We have a timeout at the Perth Entertainment Centre, and guess what? The Illawarra Hawks are in front, 13 points to 12.
We chased our pleasures.
The charge is rape in the first degree.
No disrespect to the office, but this is more than an incident.
A public figure stands accused.
I'm afraid Lys's unfortunate death brings this matter to a close.
A politician who knows how to cover his tracks.
You're not going to ask us to back off.
Guilty or innocent, you be the judge.
What they're doing is defaming one of the most honorable men in the city.
Emmy-nominated drama in its finest hour.
The case against you for conspiracy is just beginning.
Take the stand with Law and Order, 8:30 Saturday.
Volvo owners know the importance of having the best quality fail-safe equipment. That's why Volvo owners internationally are changing to Maxxis steel radial tyres. Exclusively available from Ian Diffin World of Tyres and Mufflers.
They're ready.
Another 5 minutes,
Another 5 minutes?
It takes a good hour and a half for a chicken treat chicken to be perfect, Alan. In fact, every chicken will rotate past the barbecuing bar over 115 times before it's cooked just right.
Should have been a mathematician, Harry.
But then there'd be no one to teach you how to barbecue the perfect chicken now, would there?
Oh, feed me. Phone books.
Feed your old white pages to a Telstra Book Muncher recycling bin. They're at participating BP service stations now.
If you want a powerful bathroom cleaner without the overpowering smell, then use new Ajax Liquid Gel. Its unique gel form effectively cuts through mold and bathroom scum. New Ajax Liquid Gel. No overpowering smell.
I can see clearly now the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue in the sky. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. It's gonna be bad, sunshiny day.
You know, a potato's like a marriage. Well, it's like a marriage should be. Always fresh and exciting. There are new season supplies of delicious gourmet available. Perfect for special dips and dinners. Beautiful.
Why should your ears have all the fun? Kahlua. Music for your mouth.
Perth Entertainment Centre is rocking. The Illawarra Hawks are rolling, John Gardner.
Yeah, they'd be comfortable halfway through the first quarter. Scoreline favours the visitors by a point, 13-12. And I think the Wildcats are just a little tentative. They haven't got their running game going, and I'd imagine the Hawks would be happy.
Adrian Hurley talking about the fact that there's a very little emotion out here on the Wildcats' part. He believes they need to get into it more. Defensively, he certainly wants more talk. He said there's no way they should be getting easy picks the way they are. So we'll hopefully see a little bit more emotion by the Wildcats from now on in.
Yeah, and something from the crowd wouldn't go astray either, Mike. I think they should hand notes around. Here's Fisher, trapped, double-teamed. Grace.
Little 2-3 zone out there seems to be working. Grace throws it back, but the foul will be called first, I would think.
He wanted the early call, Grace, and wasn't happy that he had to throw the ball back. He thought he should have been called earlier.
Thought he was going to go to the foul line. Anthony Stewart comes in to replace Ricky Grace, and I suspect you will see that type of quick shuffling of the rotations by Hurley as he nurses Grace somewhat through this.
Are they nursing Fisher also as Gavin Vanderputten checks in early?
No, I don't think that is the case. I think that Fisher is recovering. He made comment this week that last week's game was the first one when he wasn't conscious of the knee. But maybe they're looking for a bit of chemistry out there, a little bit of passion. The Wildcats sometimes don't play with the same passion that other teams do, and they need to find that, particularly with playoffs around the corner.
Timmins tries to get past Crawford. Good defence. Turnaround jumper. The shot doesn't go. Well done, Zorner. And Vanderputten stands there to bring down the board. Ordinary pass from Crawford. Good bounce pass. Didn't quite reach its target. Saville. Well done, Trahair. The Wildcats have the numbers because Lafleur had taken off. Stewart sizes up his options.
Well, the shot was there to be made. Johnson certainly will look for it. Saville, left-hand drive. Be a holding foul, I would think, on Blahoff. On the drive. 21.
Not a bad rotation by Vanderputten. Johnny came over, we might see it here in the replay, came over, got a good piece of the ball, and that's why Vanderputten's in there, because Zorner is far bigger than any of the other guys, and Vanderputten's just got that little bit of extra height, and he hasn't been doing too bad of late.
James Crawford sits down with 3 points. Pete Hansen checks into the game. His ideal dinner date would be Liz Hurley, and he's only just recently got married. Is Pete Hansen? Well, not recently, but not that long ago. So
he told me he filled that in before he got married.
Yeah, that was about 3. He's been married about 3 years or something, but that's not long enough to have thinking about Liz Hurley, is it?
I think it was a good point you made, Tim. We'll just gloss by you at the moment and get back to the game.
14-13.
Trahair finding Stewart at the top.
He's happy, isn't he?
He sure
touched the nerve, I hope. Anyway, 14-13.
I think you'd steer clear of that subject.
I'm out of form. Here's Blahov. In the corner is Hansen. The pressure on. Blahov eyes the basket. That will be tough if it goes in. Doesn't. Good rebound, Hansen. That's what he's there for. Oxman. Once again, rejected by
The second effort by Hansen was super, and Hansen only knows one way. He's going to grab it and go back up again. But the reject was there as well. The body contact will be what's called, I would imagine, run across the arm and then the body.
He blocked that with his armpit.
That's probably why he just followed through a little bit. Well, it's that sort of start, Tim. It's not cohesive, and it's something that the Wildcats would be a little bit concerned about. Michael made mention of Coach Hurley's concern about the Wildcats' lack of intensity and passion. I believe that's been a problem with them for the last 4 or 5 games, and they need to come out and really concentrate, focus on what they need to do.
Lafleur. Saville, pass out to Timmins. Johnson.
Lafleur's in trouble.
He's not well. He is not well at all. He's gone down and gone down heavy, holding the groin.
Johnson for 3, doesn't go. Zorner in front of Vanderputten, but the big West Aussie pulled the ball in from behind. The Wildcats are off again. Lafleur is troubled. Great pass to head of Stewart.
Yes, I think they'll see. I don't know, it's a difficult one. Lafleur is making his way to the bench. He has a groin strain, and that usually takes a lot longer than what he's been able to give it in the last week or 2. There was heavy contact. He's remonstrating with the official, and of course it may well respond to a bit of treatment.
The ice bag is ready.
Yeah, it's not pleasant.
Campbell in. Campbell came from the Ballarat Miners, and good dish finding Zorner underneath there. Scoreline that favours the Wildcats by 2.
And already the Wildcats have got 8 scorers. Make that 7. Hansen, that'll be tough. Makes it. He is tough.
Good strong move, reverse move there through traffic off the backboard for the margin. Wildcats in a 2-3 zone. We have a timeout.
Timeout. Perth Wildcats lead 19 points to 15. Johnson has 7. What a huge spread of scoring already for the Perth Wildcats.
There's a lot there, but there really is nobody that stepped up with a lot of points. If you look at Blahoff, he's down 1 from 5, and the Wildcat shooting percentage is only 41% up against 46 for the Hawks.
Andre Lafleur sitting down with just the 2 points. And this is the incident.
Yeah, you see the contact from Hansen, and really I think you saw demonstrated there just how tentative Andre Lafleur was. I mean, the first contact was not strong, but anything that put him off balance certainly put some pressure on that groin strain.
There's Adrian Hurley, the coach of the Perth Wildcats. He's up against Brendan Joyce. who's only been in the league coaching at this level for 1 year and done a pretty good job.
He hasn't had a winning season, and compared with last year when they were 14 and 12, he's 9 and 16 at this point.
Any reasons for that?
No, I think it's the fact that he stepped in with different philosophies, different principles to Alan Black, and Alan Black had been there for 3 or 4 years, so he was on top of his game, and he had the people well-grooved with the things he wanted them to do. It takes a new coach a little bit of time, and of course Joyce has brought in some new people with him as well.
Hope you're enjoying blockbuster basketball. The Wildcats at home to the Illawarra Hawks. They've got a game on their hands, Mike Ellis.
They certainly have, and these boys are playing very well at the moment. And just going on more with what you were just saying, he's got a lot of young kids in here, John, and working with them, and he believes they're the future, and that's what he's working with. But obviously not all that happy with that mini run by the Wildcats. Wants the defence picked up, and they want to try and get the ball inside the big Matty Zorner a little more.
There's Fisher, trap baseline. Trying to steady the ship. Stewart and Trehair at the point. Grace sitting down, Crawford sitting down. Here's Vanderput, tough turnaround jumper. Saville, the veteran, gets in there. Fisher for Perth. Doesn't go.
Well, that's the benefit of the experience as well. Fisher had the ball, he was surrounded. He found a way through traffic, just stepped through, and the little reverse shot didn't have a lot of chance of going through. But he certainly went to the foul line through his efforts. Scott Fisher, one of the better foul shooters in the league. 87% this season. Oh! 1 from 2, Michael Lamb.
Well, that's not too bad. You go with 50%, but not from the foul line, John. Wouldn't be happy with 50 from the foul line, and that must have been to do with that story Fisher did tonight in the news.
On the netball ring, he's a little bit low, I should imagine.
That'll teach him.
While they were just, I'm looking for the skirt at the moment. That was what he had to wear, I think, when he lost the bet.
Hay Street, I think he'll be wearing it tomorrow at lunchtime.
Harmison, baseline, shot had too much on it. Well done, Saville. Good bounce pass. Missed its target. Zorner had anchored his feet to the ground. Those people in Illawarra, Scott Fisher does a regular Friday segment on 10 News here in Perth called Fisher on Friday, or the Big Fish. And he made a goose of himself, as he does most weeks tonight.
He doesn't normally need to be on telly to do that.
Oh dear, you're bagging him pretty bad.
Nice of him to show up this week anyway. That's a point. He was missing in action last week. Anyway, still collected the check. Here's Stewart. Screen set by Vanderput. Whoops, trapped.
Race back on. It will be a Wildcat ball, front court situation.
Floor white needed. Margin is 5, 20. Wildcats, Illawarra 15.
Very important for the Wildcats here. 2.5 minutes before quarter time. They need to build on this little point spread. The Hawks, it's of course everybody's game. Ricky Grace after a short break, some 3 minutes on the bench, back in to run the game. Fisher, Hanson, Vanderput and Stewart for the Wildcats. Patient in the build-up.
Got to shoot, it was too late.
30 seconds expired.
Well, that's been the problem a lot lately, John. We've seen it on numerous occasions. Now that they've taken the 10-second warning siren out, players just aren't really paying attention to that 30-second clock, and they get caught like that frequently. They really do need to be more court aware.
Catch and shoot Johnson, Vanderput, and good rebound by the big fella. He's already got a couple of boards. In fact, he's got 4 already. They almost turn it over for Grace. He's decided to go it all the way. Right, left, shimmy, Fisher off the glass.
Well, they got the point. It's fairly hectic to get there. Timmins is playing a long way from the bucket, putting a forward to Zorner inside. He's still unsuccessful. That's a big rebound by Campbell. He's surrounded on the baseline. Armisen gives it up to Johnson. Johnson thinks about it, takes it back to the point.
Campbell just catches, shoots it and hits it for 3.
Never hesitated.
He's a very exciting young prospect, is Mr. Campbell. He's not a bad kid, played very well in the CBA, caught the eye of Brendan Joyce because he'd been around that league for a while, and felt that he was an NBL prospect. He's not too far from wrong.
So the Wildcats lead by 4. Biggest lead in the game was 7 before Campbell nailed it. Fisher's the leading scorer for Perth. Turnover. Outlet pass, Zorner. Crawford bearing down on him. Zorner with patience knocks it in off the glass. He's got 8 and all of a sudden the margin's back to 2.
Yeah, this is the thing we talked about earlier. You know, the Wildcats desperately need to win this game. The Hawks are playing for pride and playing the last game of their season in '96, and the Wildcats are just a bit too clinical.
Speaking of clinical, that's just practice in the corner for Grace.
Need to be able to put it to the floor, take it to them, look after detail out there and concentrate on getting the job done. Take things a little bit personally. Wildcats need to get up there. They know Campbell shot that one from range. They need to get out on him. 10 on the shot clock. Campbell with the pump fake. Underneath the Johnson. Probably one pass too many.
Might have been close to 3 seconds, you think, John?
I think it was. It'll be a foul on Hanson, though. Ooh, gee. Fairly tough, I would have thought.
Wasn't a lot in that, was there?
Well, we've got the benefit of replay. Often the easy call is the foul.
Interesting shooting action from the line, Matty Zorner, but he's got 9 points, Matt Zorner. It's a very good season. He's into double figures in the first quarter, and the margin is back to 3. And we've got one last play in this first quarter. The Wildcats in control.
Grace Johnson matching up. Grace almost lost the handle on it. Dishes it across, and it hits the front of the rim.
Quarter time at the Perth Entertainment Centre. Blockbuster basketball. It's the home team 25, the visitors Illawarra 22.
9:30 Saturday.
What a souped-up version of the flu.
Come on a journey.
Bring out your dead!
That's part dream, part vision, and terrifyingly real.
The beast is loose in the streets of Bethlehem.
A place more full of love, hate, and promise than any time in human history.
We're down.
Ravaged by a mysterious virus.
What about the folks I came in with? All dead.
The few who survive must choose between all that is good
I got the law to protect me.
and all that is evil.
No!
Stephen King's The Stand, 9:30 Saturday.
You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move woman, you're nice, sweet, fantastic. Move up on a bit, yes, you move it. Funny woman, you're nice, sweet, fantastic. Reach up on a bit, move a big Titanic. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it.
The Mitsubishi Challenge is proudly sponsored by Mitsubishi Motors.
English? Oh, no.
Coca-Cola.
Yes, Coca-Cola. I'll have Coca-Cola, sir.
Sorry, this is a hardware store.
Ricky, son. Anything happen?
No. Where are you?
$2.
What about the coffee?
No, that's it. $2. Anything happen?
Nah. How much this time?
$2.
Get a McDonald's Bacon and Egg McMuffin and coffee for only $2 at breakfast, or a cheeseburger, small fries and small Coke the rest of the day.
Hang on, something's happening.
The $2 all-day deal at McDonald's.
Hey, it's showtime again. And guess what's inside this week's Sunday Times? Your huge 48-page official Perth Royal Show program. Get it free with this week's Sunday Times and really enjoy the show.
Eject reality. Grab a video.
Oh, feed me.
Phone books. Feed your old white pages to a Telstra Book Muncher recycling bin. They're at participating BP service stations now.
My parents taught me what life was about, so I grew up the type they warned me about. They said my friends were just an unruly mob, and I should get a haircut and get a real job. Get a haircut, get a real job. better act up and don't be a slob. Get it together like your big brother Bob. Why don't you get a haircut and get a real job?
You know, a potato's like a marriage. Well, it's like a marriage should be. Always fresh and exciting. There are new season supplies of delicious gourmet available. Perfect for special dips and dinners. Beautiful.
Perth Wildcats lead by 3 at quarter time. Perth Entertainment Centre, 25-22. They did lead by 7 at one stage in that first term.
Well, it just shows you cannot underestimate the Hawks. They are back into this game and they've been patient. They've been the beneficiaries of some reasonable three-point shooting out there at critical times. They are down somewhat in the rebound margin, but the main statistic is the score. They trail by 3, and the Wildcats really wouldn't be happy with the tentative nature of their first quarter.
And Mike Ellis, Andre Lafleur still sitting on the bench.
Yes, I'd be surprised if Andre actually comes back into this game. I know he wants to, but it may be very, very difficult. And I suppose he's got nothing else to save himself for. But still, I mean, you've still got to be able to perform when you're on the floor. And with an injury like that, it's very difficult.
There's a few lines there, and I'm not going to touch them.
No.
Grace is on the line, speaking of lines.
Ricky Grace, 1 from 1.
Well, he got 8 points, and he scored 12 in the first quarter of their meeting earlier this year. So he does like playing the Illawarra Hawks. He's got 9. Zorna is the game high scorer at the present stage with 10.
Campbell, a hair on Campbell this time. Johnson did not even think about it.
Big rebound, Crawford. He's got 4 boards, 2 at either end of the court.
Little extension here on the ball carrier by Johnson. Pick and roll. Johnson met the big chest there of Blahoff, and a little putback by Blahoff after the roll makes the 29-22 scoreline in favour of the Wildcats.
He might have given it to Fisher, to be quite honest. Not too sure what you think.
Yeah, you're right, because Blahoff's only got 2.
Yeah, it looked like Fisher. He just ran up Blahoff's back when he did it.
Campbell's got 6 points, and they're both from beyond the arc. So, again, the margin's back to 4. Second quarter action, blockbuster basketball. Hope you're enjoying it. The Wildcats flying the flag in WA sport.
Yeah, there's not a lot left. Wildcats really looking to be WA's representative in national competitions at this point.
Inside 10 seconds in the shot clock. Crawford sizes up his options and hits it. Didn't want to go. Have a look.
Blahoff, he's used everything that's up there.
Oh, and he's almost gone and had another look at Andre Lafleur, but he's taken out the chair next to Hubbard. Seems to be okay. Oh, he's had a sharp word to the chair.
I don't think the chair is in good shape.
I wouldn't want to sit back down on it, I can tell you now.
There he goes, exit state. Look at that. He gets a 7 for difficulty.
Gets an 8 for recovery.
Here's Campbell, nailed 2 from the arc. His take on Grace. They double team in baseline. Quick hand there by Grace. This still be an Illawarra ball.
Oh, jeez. Lots of fortune.
He's falling over. I don't think you can feel his legs.
Talk about Ricky Grace. He's gone over. He's tripped over the A-frame. The Sands and McDougall sign's got the back-legged treatment as well.
Yeah, but you see that Fisher came to his aid very quickly, and he's given that sign a big boot. Way to back your teammate up. Very impressive stuff.
Having more trouble with the sidelines. They're tripping over lines. Here's Timmins for 2. Not on the board yet. Blahoff, big board. Outlet to Grace. Numbers favour Perth. Does he give it to Crawford? No, goes all alone and gets the foul on Campbell.
It's a tough one, isn't it? You know, I mean, Campbell hasn't done an awful lot wrong out there either, but Grace had made up his mind. He had measured the steps, went through, and that will send him to the foul line. 209 games. A sweet sound as long as you're shooting it. If you're turning your back and hearing that noise too often, Michael, it's not so soundy.
No, not all that impressive at all. That's more like the one you like to hear.
Wildcats and Illawarra both at 67% from the free throw line. Zorna alone. Blahov just crashes in and said, I think I fouled it.
Well, of course, the Wildcats a little extended defence then, and that's a bit of a gamble. If they beat you early and find the open man, then you're very much at risk, and Blahov did what he had to do. He's a professional basketball player, and that was very much a professional foul.
You don't want to give them that chance at the three-point play. Make sure they don't get the first one in.
Already on the rebounding situation, Zorna makes the first. It's 16 to the Wildcats, 9 to Illawarra.
Crawford with another board. It's about 5 rebounds for James Crawford.
An extended defence again by Illawarra.
They're employing that fairly well, Tim, and of course they're really trying to take some time off the clock and make sure that the Wildcats are under pressure all the way down the floor. Hare with another one. He had a little look before it decided to drop. Margin is now 9.
Terry Johnson, his brother Rod, will be here next week with the North Melbourne Giants.
Pick and roll again. Timmins rolls down. Campbell goes all the way and finds Zorna underneath. Good safe set of hands, Matt Zorna. Oh, that's a pass that just got there. Saville did well.
Saville and Campbell, most impressive. Timmins hasn't scored. Speaking of Campbell, he just spots it up, doesn't hit it. Blahov, outlet pass, a running pass for Grace. Numbers favour Perth. Once again goes alone, hits the 2 to go to the line.
Been a repeat of that, Michael. We saw that a moment ago.
Yeah, the only difference with that one, John, is he made the layup and he's going to get the three-point play. Good, strong bit of pace there, John. Got moving very rapidly.
Might be just warmed up a little bit.
Yeah, took that very strong. Very little that Matt Campbell could do about that one.
Probably needs to go down and trip over the A-frame again. I think that'll sort him out.
Got him moving.
And he's moving up the points board because he's now got 13. He equals Zorna to game high. A 10-point margin.
Well, that is the biggest margin. Saville, Blahov giving him the attention that he requires these days from range because he is a good shooter and he will take it. Zorna backing Fisher in, finding Johnson open. It's well beyond the arc. And that's the thing they do so well. They penetrate the ball. If they get the help defence, they find the open man. And they are encouraged and indeed are very confident in taking the shot.
TJ's now got 10 points. He's 2 of 6 from the arc. Illawarra 4 of 11 at 36%. The Wildcats are 3 of 5 at 60% from the three-point line. The rebounds 18 to 9.
And the margin is 7.
Backdoor play to Fisher. Well done, Saville smashes it out of the hands of Fisher.
Between Saville and Timmins, sorry Tim, they've got a fair share of blocks so far.
Speaking of blocks, Crawford just intimidated Campbell.
And he's going to run the point while he's at it.
Assist to Fisher. 15 blokes mug him under the bucket. Crawford gets the ball in off the glass. Experience, he's got 5.
Strong move by James Crawford. Got up there for the second effort. Has 5, 4 to go.
Mike, do the balloons and the streamers come down during the game or do we wait till later?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Just stop the game completely for 10 minutes till they clean it up.
Nothing surprises me.
Don't laugh.
If you're involved.
Oh, thank you very little.
There's McDonald onto the court for the first time as Campbell sits down after some good minutes. Posting up Zorna, backs his way to the bucket. It was tough, it wasn't going to go. Trahare comes up with possession.
I think that the Hawks have done very well here as they've really stopped the running game of the Wildcats. A couple of times they've got through there, good drive, of course, then by Stewart. But each time the Wildcats have got the ball, they put a little pressure on the ball carrier. So they really are making the Wildcats work hard.
So an 11-point margin, the biggest in the game.
McDonald's now coming from the Hawks. Johnson now running the point. Saville thought about it, backs it down on the reverse, pulls it up again. Timmins from range. Donald with a little bump off. Johnson low on the baseline. McDonald.
And Lafleur wants to check in, so they didn't beat the 30-second shot clock, and we are going to see Andre Lafleur, but for how long? We'll get a good eye on him. Mike Ellis, keep an eye on Andre Lafleur when he checks back into the game because he's not 100%.
Interesting, Tim. He sat for a long time. They're trying to get him warmed up. And of course, if he's not warmed up, he'll come back in and hurt it even more.
Pretty good effort by Illawarra because Timmins hasn't scored and LaFleur's hardly played any minutes, so they've only got 2 points between them. Here's Johnson. Got down on his knee and just said a little prayer.
Yeah, it was an interesting move, wasn't it?
There's Timmins under enormous pressure.
Maybe on Vlahoff. Little pump fake, and he really got Vlahoff in the air. Timmins uncharacteristically quiet. Andrew Vlahoff's third foul. Timmins is averaging 22 points a game, 12 rebounds. So far, he has remained scoreless, and he has 4 rebounds.
Andrew Vlahoff sits down with 5 points, 4 rebounds. He's got 3 fouls too. Still got 7 minutes left in the first half. There's Timmins. Timmins hits it for the
I think he's figured out, Tim, it's easier from point blank.
Well, he's 1 of 6, and that one only was about half a centimetre from the bucket when he let go of the ball. Backdoor play to Grace, they don't take it.
Good defence from the Hawks. Wildcats trying to set up their half-court offence. 7 on the shot clock.
For 3! Crawford, he's got 8! He raises the hand in triumph. He's just 1 away from 10,000 to join Andrew Gaze and Leroy Loggins.
So what's the story, Tim? He finishes with a 3 and a dunk. I think it'd be the nice way to get to 10,000, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't that be a huge way to have made the 10,000?
I think that's what he was hoping. He just miscounted.
Not like James to miscount, let me tell you right now.
You reckon he was aware that he was 9 points away then, Mike? Look at that. That's a huge bucket.
That's cash money too. Never looked like missing.
I think that the infrequency with which he takes 3-pointers would have something to do with his elation. And of course he knows that he's only 1 point away from that monumental statistic. Only 2 other people in the league have achieved that in the 17-year history of the league.
Crawford. Space on, keep an eye on him. There's Trahere with the ball. Crawford is posting up low against Timmins. 10-second shot clock.
Trahere from a long way down, and it didn't look like making it.
He wasn't far enough away.
Adrian Early just shook his head. There's LaFleur posting up. Well done, Fisher. Reached over the top of Zorna, but they have a chance to get it back. Timmins for 3.
Stewart, good rebound. Now they're pushing it down the floor. Good defense again by Johnson. Just contained the dribbler. Good left-handed. Almost a little floater then, Timmy.
Little floater it was, John. He's got 15 points.
At 62%.
Timeout. Brendan Joyce wants to talk it over. The margin is blown out to 12. The Wildcats 47, Illawarra 35.
This year, one new show stood out as a cut above the rest.
Do I make you happy anymore? Of course you do. Sure you do.
It was voted Best Drama.
I have a proposal.
And won critical acclaim everywhere.
You want to break up? Yes, I do.
It touched your heart.
I don't know how to be apart from you.
And moved you to places no other drama did.
I just think that you're making a huge mistake by marrying this guy.
The dramatic 1996 season finale.
Charlie, sometimes I hate you so much.
Party of 5, 7:30 Sunday.
They're ready.
Another 5 minutes up.
Another 5 minutes?
All takes a good hour and a half for a chicken treat chicken to be perfect now. In fact, every chicken will rotate past the barbecuing bar over 115 times before it's cooked just right.
Should have been a mathematician, Harry.
But then there'd be no one to teach you how to barbecue the perfect chicken now, would there?
BMW drivers expect their tyres to let them safely use the exhilarating performance engineered into their car. That's why BMW owners internationally are changing to Maxxis steel radial tyres, exclusively available from Ian Diffin World of Tyres and Mufflers.
Hey, it's showtime again. And guess what's inside this week's Sunday Times? Your huge 48-page official Perth Royal Show program. Get it free with this week's Sunday Times and really enjoy the show.
Unlike ordinary biscuit snacks, Lane's chicken in a biscuit is full of real flavour. When it comes to the crunch, nothing beats Lane's.
Now, when you buy your favourite snacks in large variety packs, you get free hot buds inside. They're really odd, like Hey Dude, Mr. Flippy, Mimi Screamy, Doc Fever, and Nerdy Neville. Wait a minute. What's so odd about him?
Hot Buds, they're in the bag and they're free. Collect them now with your favorite snacks.
I still don't get it.
International business airmail with a business agreement. The more you send, the less it costs.
This is my new Westinghouse Freestyle dishwasher. And if style is what you're after, you really can't go past it. As for performance, well, the dual pump system easily handles the most stubborn pots and pans. And the advanced filtration system leaves your plates spotless. But as with any dishwasher, the real test is how well they do your glasses. See? Perfect.
You can be sure if it's Westinghouse.
12-point margin in the game, 5 minutes 11 left in the second quarter, and Marcus Timmins got on the scoreboard with this.
Ooh, a little bit of hang time there, just crook the head to the right to avoid contact with the back of the backboard. He is sitting down, and the Hawks have gone with Zorner, Harmison, Johnson, LaFleur and McDonald.
I think he heard you two blokes saying that he hadn't really done much, or in particular you, John. And he did point towards the commentary position after he dunked that one.
He's got good hearing.
He has. Now listen, expect a little bit of trapping pressure from the Hawks.
Numbers favour Illawarra, and that'll be a foul on Fisher, and McDonald will go to the line. He's limping.
Yeah, well, that's a tough situation out there. Ricky Grace, they had possession, just started to go out of court, threw it down, and Zorner was there to pass it on to McDonald.
I had a bit of a chat, gentlemen, to the Illawarra bench also, just to find out how LaFleur really was. They said he's very, very tender. That hit from Hanson just really stirred it up again. He still wants to play and stay out there, but they said he's pretty sore.
Yeah, he's having a lot of trouble with that leg. There's Tree.
There's another quick hand by McDonald. The Wildcats, I know I've said this a couple of times, Tim, but they do look tentative. They're not prepared to put the ball to the floor. They're not prepared to take the man on. And they're standing around watching somewhat, looking for the sharp execution, the magic pass. They've got to be a bit more proactive out there. Back to their triangle offense in this case. Grace in the corner, plenty of time, front of the rim. Hanson keeps it alive.
Now gets the ball back, gives it to Fisher, drives strong, gets Harmison into the air, and he'll be fouled.
Scotty Fisher, 2 from 5. You know, Brendan enjoys watching on there somewhat. Scott Fisher's a bit exasperated with his poor conversion rate.
Wildcats coaching staff asking for the goaltend, and if you have a bit of a look there, Harmison did actually grab the net, and technically, if you grab the net, that is a goaltend.
That's a goaltend, yeah.
And Dave Hancock and Adrian Hurley making that point.
It's always difficult for the officials, isn't it? You know, they can say, well, it didn't make any difference to the shot. And, of course, if the players or the coaches say that the foul or the contact didn't make any difference to the shot, they tend to say, well, that's the rule.
You're saying there's a bit of hypocrisy there, John? Is that what you're trying to say?
Interpretation's a marvellous word.
11 points is the margin, closing in on 4 minutes and a half. McDonald off the screen of Zorner, doesn't go. Zorner gets rid of Hanson. It's come off him.
Hanson with a very graphic yowl.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone be able to move Hanson that far.
Well, Zorner could do it.
I'll tell you what, I don't know about that far. I think there's a tad bit of acting in that.
Yes. Here's Hanson now with possession.
Fisher looking to dive down with a checking defence there by Harmison.
Shoot in the corner.
Fisher with the jump hook.
He's into double figures. There's the Fish. He's got 11. The Wildcats move to 51, and the margin is out to 13 as Mark Brandon checks in for chucking out Harmison.
Now, it's a tough call out there. If you look at the Hawks, Chuck Harmison sitting down, they really are playing for pride. They know that their season is over for 1996, and they have worked so well to come back in the latter part of it, and they've got to find a bit of a spark here with about 3.5 minutes before half-time.
McDonald provides the spark. He hits a tray, and he's got 6. He's only been on the court a short time.
McDonald's been down a little bit this year, scoring-wise. Under Alan Black had a lot more licence and played a little more inside-outside game. It's a long pass finding Grace, and he's almost returned the favour, but it's picked up by Lafleur.
Lafleur probably would have gone off to the races then and taken them all on.
Yeah, he's not penetrating as well as he normally does, and you can understand that. Showing a lot of courage by simply remaining out there.
Yes. Here's Grace in the corner. Trehair. It's past Campbell. It'll give to Hanson.
Nice move. Sometimes Trehair gives that pass so beautifully, and other times you almost think he should take the shot.
Posting up, Zorner over the top of Hanson. Touched on the arm.
The elbow tap.
Put him off with the elbow. Zorner will go to the foul line.
I don't want to harp on the board situation, but it has blown out dramatically, hasn't it? It's now 26-12.
Yes, and of course the Hawks are shooting at 44%. They are 15 from 34, so they are missing quite a few more, and that rebound count could be very, very important towards the end of the game.
Stop the presses. Gardner's on the court.
Is that right?
Yes. You didn't notice?
Well, Timmy, you've got to watch these things. You're there to help me.
Sorry, he's just crept on. Ryan Gardner before half-time, just inside 3 minutes. Grace sitting down. So a big chance for Ryan Gardner. Gavin Vanderput's had some big minutes already. We have a timeout here at the Entertainment Centre. Margin is 10 points. Wildcats 53, Illawarra 43.
Well, the Hawks need to extend this defence, take the Wildcats' mind off their running game. It has worked so far for Joyce, in my view. He's worked that very, very well. I think they've picked up a couple of bonus buckets each time. But at the same time, it's taken away the extra space, the extra margin in the front court, and that's what's hurt the Wildcats' offence, and they haven't been able to get a lot of easy buckets out there. So Joyce has really done a very, very good job. You saw how close the margin was in the last time these teams met, and, you know, that was a very close game from memory, Tim. The Hawks really took it all the way up to the Wildcats, as they tend to do, the Hawks, that is, in most of the games at the Snake Pit.
Adrian Hurley, who was, there you go there, it's 12-1, the head-to-head record. Adrian Hurley, that's in Perth.
Yes, and Adrian would be fairly happy at this point, and he needs to build on this, of course. You know, 10-point margin, we've seen so often that margin to be evaporated so quickly as it comes down, so that the concentration has to remain.
Peter Hanson's got 5 points, Ricky Gray's 15 for the Wildcats, and Zorner's got 15, and Mike Ellis sidelines.
Well, this 10-point lead certainly can be evaporated fairly quickly. This Illawarra team is renowned for scoring at a rapid rate. They obviously want to keep some pressure up. Mr. Hurley was concerned that they might be changing defence, set in the zone. He wants to try and get the ball inside Hanson and Fisher.
Yes, you can see there what we were talking about. The Wildcats really had to rush it over to beat the 10-second count. And of course, that only gives them 20 now in their half-court offence. Whilst they're patient, they don't want to take it down too far. They're down to 6. Hanson with a little move to the bucket. And of course, that'll be a foul.
Long walk for 2 foul shots at the other end.
And of course, this is the sort of thing that the press does for you. You know, there are 2 types of presses, people that run, Timmy, and one of them is desperation, where you're really trying and you need the ball and you're foul and you've got to go out and steal. The other ones, of course, are containment, and that's pretty much what Illawarra are doing now, containing the Wildcats whilst they're bringing the ball up the floor, and you saw a good example of that just then.
Well, desperate press. I know a couple of those journalists in the desperate press. Zorner's on the line. He's got 16. This is his 8th free throw we're about to see in one half of basketball. So he's been to the line, and he's only missed on one occasion. He's shooting at 88%. His team's got 45. The margin's below double figures. Again, a desperate press. No, this is not a desperate press.
No, they're just containing them. And of course, if you rush the ball down and then jack the shot up quickly, it's been just as successful in taking possession from you.
Ryan Gardner with possession. Margin is 8. Back door is Stewart. Get it closing in on 10 seconds again. Screen set by Fisher. Pick and roll. Posting up now. Fisher. Bounce pass from Gardner. 5-second shot clock. Running out of time. Pressure. Hanson from long range. The looper. It doesn't go. The Wildcats are in a bit of trouble with the numbers. McDonald down passes on. Well done, Fisher got back.
Yeah, Fisher got back. Did it well.
Adrian Hurley not happy with this last little stanza. He's called a timeout. The Wildcats 53, Illawarra 45, 140 left in the half.
Those 2 foul shots have just eroded the margin. Wildcats need to be a little more proactive once they get over there, have some movement.
Chuck Harmison. We've said it already, we've paid him tribute, but originally born in Germany. Not originally, he was born in Germany.
And of course he went to Iowa State, I think, from memory. And I'm not sure of the history of the birth in Germany, but I suspect maybe the parents were in the services. Came out in 82 and 83, played for the Nuttawading Spectres, who of course went on to become the Southeast Melbourne Magic. Then for Coburg Giants, West Sydney West Stars, and then stepped back into the NBL in terms of the stint he has performed with Illawarra.
The 6th most games played in the NBL, Chuck Harmison.
Has been an adornment to the game, Chuck. Always played against bigger people, bigger bodied people, never gave up, and really has been very, very good as far as example for younger players of what you can do with what you've got.
Speaking of what you can do with what you got, Mike Ellis.
Sorry, what can I say? You got to put up with it. Hurley obviously doing a fair bit of diagramming on how he feels that this press should be handled. Big problem he believes is the ball hasn't gone inside the way it has with Illawarra right there with Big Zorna.
Could have been a handy bucket. Illawarra closing on half-time would have got the margin down to 6. Here's Crawford. Is this 10,000? Yes, it is!
Good night. Congratulations.
10,000 points for James Crawford, joining Andrew Gaze and Leroy Loggins. Andrew Varholt sidelines saluting his teammate, waving a towel above his head. The crowd are on their feet.
Well, let's soak up the crowd. They can tell the story. Truly a remarkable effort. 10,000 points, 428 games. Only the 3rd person to achieve that milestone in the 17 years of the Mitsubishi Challenge.
James has his way. He'll get to 11,000 before much longer. Here's Trahair. Good give pass from Hanson, closing in on 10 seconds shot clock. Trahair through tough traffic. There's Crawford again. Stewart over the back.
Well, whilst we were talking about James Crawford's 10,000th point out there, Matt Zorna brought up his 19th, which is not a bad effort when you consider we're just inside the finish of the first half of this game. 17 on the shot clock, about a second differential between the shot and game clock. This will be the last shot of the first stanza.
Brendan Joyce desperately doesn't want to give Perth any chance of extending their lead. Here's down the back. And did you score? That is half-time at the Entertainment Centre. Crawford's got a spring in his step wide, wouldn't he? The Wildcats lead 55, Illawarra 47.
This 10 News Break is brought to you by Nestle, bringing food to life.
Good evening. Tonight, the Prime Minister on a high after his trip to Japan. He says the visit cemented a strong relationship with our Asian neighbour. Also tonight, the footballer awarded a massive payout for losing a kidney during a match. Success, and you can see it in his smile. After 10 years, Aussie doctors unlocked the jaw of Philip Sarkis. And the American woman charged with attempted murder for binge drinking during her pregnancy. Those stories and more coming up tonight in the late night news at 10:50.
And in sports tonight, right after the news, Terry's race against time. Manly Star Centre resorts to ancient remedies to be fit in time for Sunday's do-or-die final against Cronulla. And the Brisbane Bears hit Melbourne ahead of tomorrow's clash against North. Midfielder Michael Voss and Matthew Clark are both expected to play. Also tonight, rugby semi-finals, the World Mountain Bike Championships from Cairns, and of course, a whole lot of horse racing. So I hope you can join me for sports tonight, coming up right after the late night news.
So, what are you having for dinner?
Fresh veggies. They're great in a stir fry. My beef with black bean.
with my own special touches. And the rich Maggi blend of black beans and spices. Now that's a real stir fry.
I can taste it now.
So can we.
Another delicious idea from Maggi.
In the grand tradition of dynasty in Dallas,
May their marriage be blessed.
a sweeping saga of romance,
All my dreams are coming true.
adultery,
You are wicked. Wicked but good.
deception,
You know, a little thing like wedding vows won't keep us apart.
and intrigue.
You're a backstabbing piece of white trash.
From the master, Aaron Spelling,
Don't you know I'm hooked on you?
an irresistible new drama.
This is your best friend's wedding day. $10. Says this marriage doesn't last.
Coming soon to 10, Savannah.
Wildcats lead by 8 points at half-time. Big occasion just before the long break. James Crawford's 10,000th point. And before the game, James Crawford was in action again, presenting one of his real foes in Chuck Harmison with a special plaque.
Yeah, well, they both started in the league in '82. Chuck played with the Spectres, Nunawading Spectres, and of course James Crawford. He brought up his 10,000th point right there off the glass. James Crawford started with Geelong in '82, so they've seen the league grow. They've grown with it, and at various times they've dominated.
I just think it would be a good night. I think, Chuck Harmison, playing his last game, and one of his, offsiders for all that time, scored a memorable occasion,
sure.
and Vicky Verka.
Adds to the memory, Tim, there's no doubt about that. And both players, of course, are getting to the twilight of their career, I suppose.
Let's take a look at the first half stats, John, and it really does show the dominance of the Wildcats. They lead by 8.
Well, of course, 8's not a lot, but their shooting percentage is slightly better. They've taken more shots, 20 from 41 against 16 from 38 from the foul line. They certainly have been a little better again from the three-point line, surprisingly. They're 4 from 10. And the stats, again, are very close at 38% for the Hawks. The rebound stat is the one that's most interesting. 8 and 20, 28 to 14 over the Hawks, who are just as big. So that's a big statistic for the Wildcats. Assists, fairly even. Turnovers, Wildcats wouldn't be happy with 10. Neither would the Hawks with 8. And the rest, of course, comes down to the vital statistic of the scores.
Leading the scoring for the Wildcats is Grace with 15. Zorna all on his own with 19.
Big half. Matt Zorna, big effort. Johnson quiet. He still has 10. McDonald 6. Crawford has 10. And that 10th, appropriately, was the 10,000th point.
So the Wildcats just going through their paces before play resumes, and we didn't see a lot of Lafleur's, troubled by a groin injury. He's got 2 points. We didn't see a lot of Timmins, who's got 4. He's 2 of 8 at 25%. So it really is a key factor in the game. I mean, they are certainly their dominant players this year. And speaking of not playing much at all tonight, the boys dressed up with somewhere to go. Todd Lichty and Phil Doherty.
You'd have to think Lichty's fairly safe in the suit, because every time he stepped on the court for the last 3 or 4 matches, somebody's banged him. And of course, Doherty rolled an ankle early in practice.
Now look, the NBL don't make too many mistakes, but I was going through my media guide in preparation for this, and how's this? This is certainly misguided. Now, the coach of the Illawarra Hawks in 1980 was Alan Hurley. Now, that man with the beard and the smile, because he's such a happy-go-lucky bloke, never gets upset, is our producer-director of basketball here in Perth, and Alan Hurley. And the bloke that's not looking too happy was the former coach. Should have been Adrian. The headline says it all.
Well, we always knew that Hurley was fairly predominant in the things he does. He directs us, but obviously he was directing the Hawks back in those days.
Well, he's pretty versatile, and apparently that man is going to take his hand to television when he passes by the basketball. But Alan Hurley out the back is hitting the buttons, calling the shots, and bringing us the pictures with our 10 Sports crew.
Looks like he should have had a number underneath across his chest.
I wasn't going to say that.
Which one were you referring to, Michael?
Both, actually. I was going to say it was a very good shot, because it's, as I said, it's very rare that we have a smile from our chief. But he's smiling tonight because he is.
Ball goes up now, and Crawford wins the jump. And of course, both clubs back to their starting 5s out there, including for the Hawks, Andre Lafleur.
There's Lahov, so the Wildcats lead by 8 at half-time.
Saville will come up with a little hand foul. He's full of endeavour, Saville, but if he wants to muscle out against Vlahov, I'm afraid he's going to do a little bit more in the weight room. You can see Vlahov back him in, little reverse pivot, and Saville did what he had to do, but raked across the forearm. We'll send Andrew Vlahov to the foul line. He's 1 from 2 tonight from the stripe. Has 4 rebounds, has 5 points.
Saville's always going to lose that weight for age battle, isn't he?
Yeah, he sure is. And he really has to, I guess, Michael, take the judgment of denying possession and fronting Vlahoff, which is a tough problem for anybody. But I think it's a far better option than staying behind.
That was an amazing stat, wasn't it? Andrew Vlahoff has passed double figures in his last 66 games.
Yeah, that's pretty consistent, isn't it?
He's got 6 tonight. Wonder if we can mocker him. That'll be on Crawford.
Little reach in by James Crawford. It's his second.
Mike, that would have been a special moment for you, James Crawford. I mean, you spent a lot of time playing with him.
Yeah, I'd like to think I helped him get a few of those points on his way to the 10,000. And he's been a fantastic ambassador and certainly one of the living legends of the Mitsubishi Challenge. And it was great to see him get that. And I saw the big wry grin on his face for about 2 or 3 trips down the floor after it.
I reckon if you see him in the streets of Perth over the next week, he'll be exactly the same. It's a very special moment. Hair's Zorna. Well done, Vlahoff. He showed too much of the ball to young Matty Zorna.
Yeah, Vlahoff stripped him. Grace looking to penetrate, finds Trahair, but Trahair just wasn't able to gather it in. And, you know, with barely a minute gone, the margin out there is still 9.
Would you be putting more pressure on Lafleur, Mike and John, with that injury? You know, I mean, a bit more full court pressure, really test it out?
Sure, I certainly would. I'd be taking no prisoner. Oh, gee, that's a fairly interesting layup, but you must add to the equation the fact that he stood on somebody's foot. That'll be Vlahoff's 4th foul as well. He won't be too happy with that.
That's got to hurt. You see that? You know, if he's about to do what I think he was going to do, and that was dunk the ball.
All the pressure was down, Mike.
Mate, he's going to push off pretty hard on that foot. And that's got to hurt. Gee, poor old Illawarra. Here we go here. Oh, actually,
he's tripped over, actually, hasn't he? And it's the landing that's got him.
Yeah, he didn't step on anyone's foot. That must be a raised O in the middle of that Coke sign there.
Hard to get past the Coke sign, Mike.
Raised O, doesn't he play for the Geelong Supercats?
He does, a quick transfer. He was
that is shocking.
Sharp.
It was obvious. Terrible. It was obvious, but I had to use it. He's missed from the line as Marcus Timmins. He's having a quiet night. He's just got the 4 points. He's got a couple of boards. In fact, he's got 6 to lead the rebounding stakes. He sat down a lot of that second quarter, John.
Yes, he did. He was taking a lot of shots from range, and he doesn't look a happy camper. He looks more unhappy now with that ankle, and of course you've got a feel for the Hawks with the Lafleur.
Pair of bookends, John.
Exactly.
There's Trahair with the ball on the wing. Fisher. He's got 11 points. Grace, pass the Vlahoff. Does he want it back? No. Now he does. Screen set by Fisher. Shot was short. Crawford's there. Got a hands in there. It's like volleyball. It's a hot potato.
Well, Crawford's got it with a little fake to the baseline and the crossover move, and he puts it off the glass. He's not going to be content with 10,000 points, Tim. He's going for the next 1,000.
And he's got 8 boards and 12 points. He's having a good night and a special night. Well done, Vlahoff. Quick hands to telegraph the pass. Timmins, and Timmins is saying to Saville, come to me, move your feet.
Wildcats really need to step the pressure up here. Really need to put the defensive pressure all over the floor, make them work hard, see if they can get a few steals, build on this situation. Don't be satisfied with this 10-point margin. That'll be on Fisher.
Fair effort. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying before, though, Tim. There's no question that there should be a lot more pressure put on Lafleur. And I mean, that's not saying anything derogatory about Andre other than the fact that he is injured, and you need to take advantage of that. And certainly down the offensive end, whoever he is playing on should be doing a lot of cutting, a lot of changing direction and moving around, because he's going to struggle to stay with them.
Yeah, the ball carrier is so important, and again, if they can take Lafleur's mind off the job and really put some pressure in the back court, it makes the job so much easier down at the other end. But Timmins is not having a happy night.
I think you would foul him because he's 1 of 5 from the line.
Interestingly enough, he normally shoots at about 73%, so he's certainly down.
Yeah, he's at 20% tonight, and the Wildcats lead by 10 points. Still haven't just blown the game away, have they, Perth? It's still just nagging length. It's like a good medium pacer, aren't they?
I'd like to see him pick up the pace and maybe tear a few in there at the leg stump, because ultimately that's what they need to do. You know, 10 points is not a comfortable margin. Fisher with the ball, high post entry, Grace diving low to the block, Vlahoff winding around, Crawford low on the baseline. You can usually put money on that one.
That's the old bread and butter baseliner which scored the 10,000.
Yeah, he's had a few X's on a few courts around this league.
Ooh, there's this. What? Well, and just maybe, Michael, it'll take something from James Crawford here to really lift up and ignite the Wildcats, because I think they do seem to lack a bit of a spark at the moment.
Yeah, he could very well be that spark we're looking at.
Speaking of sparks, can he light something up Grace? He usually just takes it nice and easy, and this time he beats Timmins. Comes down hobbling, does Ricky Grace, but he's got 17, and the margin is out to 14, the biggest in the ball game. We have a timeout. Brendan Joyce not happy with proceedings here at the Entertainment Centre. 62-48.
Tim, you'd have to, if you were just switching on to watch this game, you'd have to say it's getting towards the end of the season. When you look at the people out there, they're fairly well injured and people are hobbling.
James Crawford has got a couple of blocks. And speaking of blocks, speaking of moving blocks, speaking of moving interstate, Guy Malloy is on the move and he's talking with Mike Ellis, the Perth Breakers coach.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Guy, a bit of bad news, I suppose, from West Australia's point of view, with you resigning this week.
Oh, yeah, I guess. It's been 4 great years here at Perth with the Breakers. I'll treasure my time here. We had a great year this year. We finished 3rd, which was a tremendous effort considering the players that we'd lost through the year. But, look, it's unfortunate, sad that I am leaving for me personally. But, I'd really like to thank the many people here in Western Australia that have helped me in my 4 years here. I've made some really good friends, and I hope that I'll be able to come back and spend some time with those people in future years.
Well, I'm sure you'll be more than welcome here whenever you come back. I think you've had a fantastic time with the Breakers. You've done exceptionally well with them. What are you going to do with all this time on your hands?
Well, I have no plans at this stage. Right now, I'm going to back off from coaching. It's a demanding profession. I've been doing it here in Perth for 4 years, flat out. I don't know how long I'll take. 3, 6 months, 12 months, whoever, recharge the batteries and then get back into it later.
Well, best of luck with whatever it is you want to do from now on, and you've had a fantastic 4 seasons, as we said, and good luck with anything else you do.
Thanks very much, Mike.
Okay, Guy.
Guy Malloy talking with Mike Ellis, the Breakers coach, after 4 years deciding to give the game away. Illawarra have the ball on the sidelines, and he's done a good job, and he's probably got a future in the NBL if he wants to, down the track, John.
Well, I think he did an exceptional job this year. He lost his 2 biggest players, took the Breakers to the 3rd position, and played against the Lightning last weekend. So, yes, he's got all the credits, and, of course, we wish him well in whatever his endeavours are, and let's just hope he's not too long out of the game.
Campbell, now one from the corner, now has been fouled. Has now fouled Vlahov, yes, and just quickly looking at Guy Malloy in that interview with Mike Ellis, he's got rid of the suits, got rid of the ties, he's in retirement completely.
He's gone very relaxed, that's for sure.
Shirt out and open neck.
All the pressure's gone, and I suppose you've got to pay tribute to the young players that he has left behind in this program, including Gina Stevens, and they've got a great future, and I'm sure they'll go on with the job next year.
Certainly will, and Lisa McLean, Tully Bevilacqua, some homegrown talent who have thrived under Guy Malloy's coaching. And Vlahov is on the line. The Wildcats are out to a 12-point lead, make that 13 as Andrew Vlahov now notches up 8 points.
It's been a pretty dour struggle out there so far. Very workmanlike display from the Wildcats, lacking that little spark and flair that we've come to expect from them.
That's 5 fouls for Scott Fisher.
It's crept up on him, hasn't it?
A few blokes with a few fouls out there, gentlemen.
Yeah, there's been quite a few fouls called in this particular game.
14 against the Wildcats, 11 against Illawarra. Vlahov's got some problems too with the 4.
Yep. Guys, just as a little adjunct to the Guy Malloy thing, the other person that's leaving the Breakers too is Sue Max, who's done just a marvellous job looking after. She's the manager for them and just works tirelessly, and she will certainly be sorely missed as well. She's heading back to Sydney, so we wish her the very best of luck.
Hubbard on the court. Shot was short. Wildcats off to the races. They try and trap him at the half court. He's trying to find that handle. He's got it. Well done, Johnson. Grace. Well done, Grace. Dynamic stuff, Johnson and Grace.
Under enormous pressure there, Ricky Grace. He just lost a bit of rhythm on the dribble. Turned around. Hubbard came back and got at him. Johnson got back at him. Now he's in a jump ball against Johnson. You can see it on replay.
Going small are the Wildcats.
think it might be just protecting the last quarter for size, Michael.
And I think so. They don't want to have Fisher and Vlahoff spending the last quarter sitting on their bottoms.
Timmins.
Oh, that's will count. Of course, the ball can rest and can be taken from the ring, and in the referee's judgment, if it is not looking as if it's going in, then it's fair to take it from the ref.
He's moving a bit better now, Marcus Timmins. There's Crawford at the top, looping past to Hansen.
Nice lead pass there. Hansen found the lead, came through. Wildcats, I believe, should go inside a lot more with the ball. May have to earn it the hard way by going to the foul line. But they will put some pressure on the defence. Keep Hansen on the floor. First one is good. Brings up his 6 point.
John, they'll get to the foul line a few times, but eventually they're going to wear them down, and they haven't really got the strength in the bench to keep matching it, have they?
No, I think they've got, Michael, for mine, they should be going inside almost every time down the floor out there, making the grind work for them. See, we've seen how well Zorn has done. Certainly James Crawford had something to say about that little jump shot.
Try and trap Grace. That pass was short. It was intended for Hansen. Now they're going to pay the price.
Yeah, it's ambitious. That was again a professional foul.
Just Grace's second.
And a fair one at that. Boy, that was a good, hard, solid foul.
Adrian Hurley calling his troops over the sidelines. Trehair, Stewart and Grace, the three guards, to get things sorted out.
Bang. That's a fairly strong move. He's fairly happy about those on.
No, he just said someone bit me a fly or a mosquito or something.
With 19 points.
I think he was smiling because he was happy it wasn't his head that got actually.
He's 7 from 8 from the foul line too. Why wouldn't he be happy going back there?
It's his first point since half time.
Just the ball above the forehead, slightly further back, follows through. All points, 9 from 10.
So the margin is back to 11. Once again, they're just chipping away. Illawarra. Perth can't shake them off, and Illawarra have had their troubles here tonight. Wildcats must win. Crawford is inspired, almost goes in. Hansen's there to mop up, doesn't go.
He'll take that assist too, I guarantee you that. He'll be straight over to the stats people saying, you see that pass? I got that over to Hansen there.
I think he was pretty upset it didn't go in, Michael. He fully expected that it should have.
He's had lots of practice.
Hansen on the lines at 7 points tonight, having a better game, 3 offensive rebounds.
They fixed him up.
Didn't say it was good from the line. I just said he's got 7 points. He's now got 8.
Timmins bringing the ball up. Little shake and bake move. Jeez, has not been good. I have to believe that Timmins is struggling with some sort of injury that we're not sure of, because he's a far better player than what he's shown us out here tonight. Strong move by Hansen under the bucket there, putting it up because Timmins was directly under the basket, under the cylinder. He's not going to get the benefit of any offensive call that way.
So margin again is blown out to 14. Zorn posting up, they double team. Granger says, give me that ball, I'm off to the races. Stewart and Crawford. Does he give it to him? He does. Crawford off the glass.
They need to run, they need to push it down. Very vital time, halfway through the third quarter. Wildcats really need to build. Johnson's been quiet since half time. Isolated on the wing. Boy, Greg Hubbard's been quiet, Michael. His points per scoring production has dropped this year.
What's he down to about 6.5 points a game this season? It's a long way.
Steady decline.
Time out here at the Perth Entertainment Centre. The Perth Wildcats in control. They lead 71 points to 57.
Colin's got a need.
I was worried about you. I've got everything under control.
A need she's about to share.
Well, can't you believe, Colin, that I gave your drugs to Kelly?
She could get even.
The holidays are over and so are we.
She could get burned. On 90210, 7:30 Tuesday.
Okay, we're going to turn the lights out. Now, judging just by the shape, what are you holding?
A football. All right, a boombox. It's melon. Box of cereal? Oh, that's easy. Well, it was Coca-Cola.
You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. You're nice, sweet, fantastic. Move up on a bit, yes, you move it. Funny woman, you're nice, sweet, fantastic. Reach up on a bit, move a big Titanic. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it.
The Mitsubishi Challenge is proudly sponsored by Mitsubishi Motors.
Eject reality. Grab a video.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. Gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue sky. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. It's gonna be bad, sunshine day. Take it away.
Like all Lane's premiums, this one is very tasty. So what's new? It's 97% fat-free. When it comes to the crunch, nothing beats Lane's.
This is Brown's new creamy custard style yogurt with forest berries, mango and peach, plum and almond. Just the thing when you're feeling a little indulgent.
So every one of these flakes is one whole grain of wheat.
That's right. Simply steamed, rolled and toasted.
How come you know so much about wheat?
Wheaties, 100% whole grain wheat from Uncle Toby's.
Another handy hygiene hint brought to you by Handy Ultra.
Hygiene is a pretty important consideration in any kitchen, and the humble cutting board can be just one of the culprits that can harbour some nasty bacteria. Ideally, your cutting board should be non-porous, that is marble or acrylic, not wooden where rinsing or wiping it clean is less effective. And after cutting food, rinse it and wipe it dry.
This handy hygiene hint was brought to you by Handy Ultra.
I don't know why I love you, but I do.
Perth Wildcats up by 14 points over the Illawarra Hawks. The Hawks' last game for the year, and Pete Hansen struggled, gets it. Now he's got 10, and that's his season high. Previous best was 9 against Melbourne and Sydney. So Pete Hansen enjoying some good minutes and some good points. Mike Ellis.
Yes, just listening to Brandon Joyce there. He's asking his players to really pick up the defensive intensity. He said, and then if we get some stops, then we can get off to the races, get a couple of nice easy baskets and get back in this game, because it's not really that far out of reach.
Well, and that's exactly what the Hawks need to do at this point, because the Wildcats are still struggling to put any sort of space in this scoring.
Oops, Grace just gets it back. They try to trap him into half court. Ricky Grace has got 17 points. The game high scorer in this blockbuster basketball effort is Matt Zorner, who has put up a blockbuster performance with 21. Grace leaning in on Saville. That's a tough call.
Well, it could be a long quarter there. Saville's come in and given the job against bigger bodies. Now he's gone back out and found the fleet of feet of Ricky Grace.
What's this, just all rhyming stuff today, John, is it? Or what?
I'm glad you picked it up, Mike.
What did he say?
Wasted on
what did he say?
Bigger bodies and fleeting feet.
That doesn't rhyme.
Oh, no, but I mean, he's using all the same letter type starting words, I mean, you just got to pick these subtle things up.
Oh, okay.
You just go back to reading your screen there, Tim, all right? John and I
think it's called an alliteration. There you go.
An abomination, I would say.
Anyway, here's Saville, started strongly for three. Almost big hands in there. Timmins, James it back in.
Ouch!
Strong move by Timmins.
About that sore ankle.
Yeah, he forgot that, didn't he?
Crawford sits down with 16 big points. He can get up, Marcus Timmins. He's got 9. He's creeping up to his season average, 23. Close to loose pass by Hanson. Stewart had to be good. Here's Grace. Some loose passes going around here at the moment.
A couple of prayers there being made with some of those passes. A few very close to being hospital passes.
That was one of them.
Again.
Yep. Vanderputten and Timmins down behind play. Campbell's pass to Saville. Zorner, did he take a couple of steps? I don't know, but I think he thought he might have, and that's why he missed the layup. This is an ordinary patch.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. You can talk forever about why.
And Saville silences the crowd with a tray, and he has now moved to 5 points, I would think.
Yeah, the Wildcats really need to push this down here.
It's only a 2. He's got everything here, Saville. He's got every number in the book.
He's kept the statistician fairly active.
We'll go through that in a moment. Bounce past Grace to Vanderputten. Travel. Vanderputten. Saville's got 2 points. He's got 3 fouls, 2 blocks, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, a steal, 4 rebounds.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Well played. Very good, Mike. The alliteration hasn't thrown you out anyway. Here's Timmins.
There'll be a travel again. No, it'll be a foul on Hanson, I would think.
Yep, and that's Pete Hanson's 3rd foul. Already sitting down Fisher with 5 and Blahoff with 4.
Zero has the foul, little pump fake and the crossover move. See the little shoulder there. Very little movement. Timmins will go to the foul line. What has he got, Tim? He's got 9.
He's got 1 of 5 from the stripe, and there it is there, 20%.
The good news about that is you only have to make a couple and the old percentage rockets up.
And we don't want to sound like a broken record, but tell you what, this lead, if he knocks this down, is still 10 points. They just can't shake them off, and the Wildcats, have said, have got some foul trouble.
And the Wildcats need to be positive with what they're doing out there. They've been throwing a few very ordinary passes.
There's Anthony Stewart. Hasn't had a big night points-wise, just the 4. There's a lead pass to Vanderputten. Size one out there. Didn't make the first. Does he make the second goes? Gavin Vanderputten joins the score sheet. For the first time tonight.
Hopefully you're 7 foot Tim. You can look up there and pick it back and have another shot, but he did well with the second effort.
He did. I think he got a rebound for his measure. Here's Johnson for 3.
It will take a little spark from the Hawks here, and I'll be right back into this.
It's down to 9, John, and Johnson's got 13. This big screen set by Vanderputten, in fact, it's been a call on him.
He might have been all right. I think he might have accentuated that forearm just a little bit after the contact.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe not when you see it in the replay.
I don't think so. I think he stood his ground and...
Yeah, fairly ordinary situation, I would think.
Oh, so ordinary call is what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
he's just being a little bit diplomatic.
Fairly ordinary call. Sometimes it's difficult to stress the positive.
Yes. So, Illawarra have a chance. They're down below double figures. Here's Campbell in foul trouble with 4 himself. On the corner as Johnson doesn't go. That would have been a good spark for them. Now he'll be called for the foul.
That should send them on that long walk again. And it's got to that point where both teams from the bonus situation, any fouls, of course, will be penalised by foul shots. Of course, the Illawarra Hawks were saying, well, he couldn't stay in court with all that pressure. He must have stepped out.
Hurley's strolling around on tenterhooks over here at the moment. He's not real happy at this stage.
No, he knows how tenuous the situation is. The Wildcats, whilst they are enjoying a lead, it's not a very impressive attitude they're showing to the game in terms of going on with the job. They're just almost clinging tenuously to it. Ricky Grace, of course, is on the foul line, and he's certainly stepped up tonight. That's his 21st point, 55%, has 5 rebounds and 7 assists. Johnson from out high. Campbell from the wing into Zorna. Zorna double down. There's almost an intercept. Saville with the ball. Zorna, strong move. Second effort, doesn't get it. Well, there's plenty of endeavour.
Good effort there by Gardner. Dived on that ball. Had Zorna. He actually nearly disappeared under Zorna, so to speak.
He's almost mugged.
This Ricky Grace performance is the first time in 13 games that he's scored over 20 points. So he's found some form at the right end of the season. The Wildcats will be hoping he can continue that through the playoffs.
They're going to need him, Tim.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the spark plug, there's no doubt about that. Hanson with a good block. That'll be a 3-second situation, will it, or a foul? I think it'll be a foul.
From Grace.
Hanson with a block. That's pretty impressive stuff right there.
That's the sort of thing that'll be talked about for a while.
You're not wrong about that. Probably never hear the end of that for the rest of the season.
We'll never hear that the bloke he blocked the shot was about 8 inches shorter than him. Never let the truth get in the way.
Exactly right.
10 points the margin. Down to 9.
Yep, it is 9. There's been a lot of trips to the stripe tonight. Wildcats have made 27 free throws. Have had 27 free throws. And Illawarra 24. They've still got 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Here at the Entertainment Centre. There's life in the Hawks yet. Stay with us. Hope you're enjoying the action on 10.
2-3 zone matching up here. Long cross-court pass to Stewart with the pump. Comes up with something like the front end of the ring. That's a big kickback there from Hanson. And that's a huge rebound by Saville. Timmins on the right-hand side. He'll pull it up. They'll go to the structured half-court offence.
There's Campbell posting up Zorna.
I'm going to say a 3 here will be tough for the Hawks, and there it is. Back in there.
So you cannot double down and leave somebody that has made the points that he has. That's his 4th three-pointer, is it not? No, 4 from 4. You can't leave him. Has 14 points, Campbell.
I'll be happy with that. 4 from 4.
Yeah, very good. Johnson's got 3 of 9. That's dragging the percentage down to 40. They're 8 of 20 from the arc. Here's Hanson. High post. Gardner. Round Saville. Doesn't go. Timmins just slaps the ball in the other hand, and there's a bit of spring in the step. The margin is 6 points, and Adrian Hurley wants Crawford to check back into the game. Here's Campbell again. 5 of 5.
It's the very same spot. Wide open.
Well, you've got to make the adjustments. If you don't make the adjustments, you pay the price, and all of a sudden the Wildcats are now looking down the barrel. The three-quarter margin that's shrunk to something that's very, very helpful towards the Hawks. It's a good pass by Grace after the penetration. Hanson comes up with the conversion.
It was 14 points. The margin was down to 3. It's now back to 5. 79-74. We're closing in on three-quarter time. Campbell, 5 of 5.
There were always some indications there, Tim, that if you slightly relax, the Hawks were going to get back into this.
That was tough by Zorna. Low percentage shot. Vanderputten in his face. Numbers favour Perth. No look pass to Gardner. In off the glass of Ryan. Gardner is the 9th Wildcat on the score sheet tonight.
Nice layup. Good dish by Stewart out there. 40. You can see the time to go on the screen. So the Wildcats should get a shot at this. Notwithstanding a foul situation. That's what we talked about.
No basket. Timmins and Grace traded pleasantries.
74 plays 81. This will send Saville to the foul line. Stewart was across, but not quite far enough, and he was still moving. Allowed the head and shoulders of Saville to get there first.
Got another half step, John, would have been close.
Yeah, it's a trend, Michael, of giving up the baseline sometimes at the NBL. It worries me because I know it's a coaching ploy that says you've got to have help defence. You should push them to the baseline, but just don't give it up.
Yeah, that's the big thing, isn't it? You push them to the baseline. That means straight down to the baseline, not in a straight line to the basket.
I mean, you really do have the great shot blocker there to intimidate either. I mean, it's something that does worry me in terms of technique. Well, now we've got the tide turned the other way. 16-14. Grace with the ball in his hands just before three-quarter time.
81-76. The margin is 5. Crawford comes out. Turnaround jumper on the buzzer. Tap in by Trahan. And that is three-quarter time at the Perth Entertainment Centre. The Hawks aren't out of it. They trail by 7, 83 to 76.
Emergency?
First, one.
What's that smell?
Then, another.
There's that smell again.
It's a hospital's worst nightmare.
What's going on?
A virus is on the loose.
Am I gonna be alright?
And patients are dropping like flies.
Stupid bastard had to go and die on me too.
The finger's being pointed.
You stuffed up.
But who's really to blame?
You think it's you, don't you?
Heart-stopping action and absorbing human drama.
Are you trying to get rid of me? I am actually here.
The critically acclaimed Medivac. 9:30 Wednesday on 10.
They're ready. Another 5 minutes up. Another 5 minutes? Well, it takes a good hour and a half for a chicken treat chicken to be perfect, now. In fact, every chicken will rotate past the barbecuing bar over 115 times before it's cooked just right. Should have been a mathematician, Harry. But then there'd be no one to teach you how to barbecue the perfect chicken now, would there?
There's always things to do around the house. So to get those jobs done properly, head for the Bunnings Big Clean-Up. Dustpan and brush, just $2.50. Millet Broomerlow, $6.95. 250ml Dulux sample pots, just $3.95 each. Buy 2 and get 1 free. 2 litre feed and wheat, great value at $5.25. Big 25-metre roll of polytube, just $3.90. And 10 kilo blood and bone, a bargain at $7.50.
Bunnings!
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Sweltering 38 degrees out there if you're heading for the beach. Your truck has lost it. But there are cars all over the place. Traffic's backed up to the highway. It's a really nice day for the beach, so...
Want to try Perth?
No thanks, it makes my hair kind of limp. I tried it years ago.
It's changed. It conditions better now.
No way, I've got a date tonight.
Perfect. Perth now contains not 1 but 3 conditioners, individually balanced for your hair type.
Okay, I'll try it. It's a blind date anyway. All right, it's definitely better. It feels kind of, well, great.
Feel the difference 3 conditioners can make only in Perth.
Zamo's Red Hot Gold Sale is on now, with beautiful gold jewellery at some of the hottest prices in town. Like these lovely 9-carat hoops in 4 styles, now only $59 a pair. These great 9-carat bangles are only $2.99 each. 9-carat chains, you choose the style, just $160 each. And these 9-carat bracelets are a crazy $79 each. Plus, you'll find red hot savings on every single piece of beautiful gold jewellery in every Zamo's store. Zamo's Jewellers, traditional family values, genuine value for money.
We don't pretend to know how the world will change next, but we do know we'll be there for you when it does. In times such as these, if you're not with SGIO, it's time you made a few changes of your own. You can't change the world, but thankfully you can change your insurance company to Western Australia's largest general insurer, SGIO, insurance for the world as it is today.
If you've walked in, sat down, hope you're enjoying the action. This is NBL Mitsubishi Challenge action. The Perth Entertainment Centre and Ryan Gardner. He's become the 9th Wildcat, and everyone that's got on court has scored, so there's 2 points for Ryan. And look, they're here again. John was here before, setting up the...
It takes an age to draw those signs and know what you got to say. Goodness me.
You little ripper, it says. Speaking of little rippers, Michael.
Oh boy, what an act to follow, eh?
He had the texters out, he did, John.
I know.
John had the texters and Ryan was getting it all together.
Pretty good.
Had his favourite animal on there.
Using his mum's mascara again.
Mike, right, was said in that...
Brendan Joyce is saying to his players, do you guys realise that we are in this game? This game is very winnable from here. He said, I hope you guys are all ready to play, because he said, we can come out and take this game. He said, it's our last chance, let's get out and do it.
I think that's fair comment too, Tim, because he needs to encourage the Hawks to think that this is a very small margin. They only need 2 or 3 buckets, a couple of stops on the defensive end, and anything can happen. And what a way to finish your season against the reigning champions, a team that is struggling and wants to be in the top 4 and wins this game and will be. And that's tremendous motivation, and this is the sort of thing that should appeal very much to the younger players, such as Campbell, who now has 17 points, and Zorna, who has 21. Of course, Zorna had 19 at half time, so he's been a bit quiet.
In the face of adversity, are you all right, John?
Yeah, you think I should blow my nose in public or what?
No, I just think in perspiration. I mean, we've embarrassed you about your sign that you put up there, and I think it's just worried me that you're starting to perspire.
Well, I'm very red over there, I know that.
I'm glad you're concerned about it.
There's Campbell. He's stepped up in the face of adversity. With Lafleur sitting down, there's a stray ball there if someone wants it. It's 4-on-1. Oops.
Oh dear. That's a great lid put back by James Crawford, but I think the miss was indicative of the form that Aaron Trahair, that little slump that he's going through for the last 3 or 4 games.
He's got 7 points, he's got 3 assists and 6 boards. Saville, pull up, tip it in.
That's a great putback as well. He had time up there to adjust.
Nice little touch.
Almost as if he grabbed the sky hook, and there's a good pass by Stewart. Deserved a better fate. Crawford is waiting for the shot. Fisher. Scotty Fisher now has 14, 15 points.
Margin is 9. Was out to 14, then all of a sudden Matt Campbell just went bang, 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 and got it back down to 3.
Well, that's when the 3-point line can do so much damage for you out there, and the Wildcats have to really come out with some defensive pressure and intensity here. There's Campbell again going across the screen. Crawford's 3rd foul coming out to help. You can see it here on replay. Shot was long gone. Campbell on the foul line, 17 points, is perfect still. 3 from 3, 5 from 5 from the 3-point line. That's a fairly impressive match statistic, isn't it?
Fantastic, you know, and I'll just stress that point that I haven't got much out of Andre Lafleur because of that groin injury he's brought into this game, and it was aggravated after clashing with Hansen, but Matty Campbell said, "I'll give the minutes, give me the minutes and I'll make the most of them," and he has. He's got 19 points, and all of a sudden he's raced up behind his teammate Zorna, who's got 21.
Well, this is the advantage of going Stewart from range. It's short. Warhoff mops it up. Into Fisher on the baseline. Crawford with a pump fake, and then the little bounce.
There you go, look at that. That's a big night, John.
Yeah. And when you're hot, you're hot. And how could you deny James Crawford with all of the marvellous things we've seen him do here on this court since 1987, with the Wildcats since 1987, and just watch it in replay.
He lost it and slapped it in, didn't he?
No, he never lost it. He wouldn't admit to losing it, but he did too.
It was 4 inches away from his hand when he knocked it in.
He got long fingers.
He has, and he's got 21 points to be equal game high scorer with Grace and Zorna. 90 to 80, the margin is 10. Johnson baseline, that was going to be pretty awesome if he'd made it.
Yeah, 3-on-1. Going to be a trouble, I think.
Brendan Joyce wants a timeout at the Entertainment Centre. His team trail by 10. It's 90 points to 80. Adrian Hurley a bit perplexed by that call. We'll go to the break. The Wildcats lead by 10.
Don't think you can persecute me.
Chief Inspector Wexford is back in one of his toughest cases yet.
He wasn't there when she was killed.
A murdered wife, a bereaved husband, and a suspicious mother.
3 lives she ruined.
A case with no clues, only suspects.
It's beginning to look very peculiar.
It's a trail no ordinary detective can unravel.
You're skating on thin ice, Chief Inspector.
A gripping Ruth Rendell mystery.
That's what we're here to find out, sir.
Shake hands forever. 8:30 Monday on 10.
You'd never start work without the right safety equipment. And now you needn't drive without it either.
Okay, you've heard about the new cinema release from Disney. It's fantastic. It's out there now. Believe me, they've done it again. It's a true classic. But the big news is the characters are so great, McDonald's have produced an original release of their own. Watch out for it. This glass collection is amazing. $1.95 each, superbly chiselled. They're great. So do yourself a favour, make sure you catch these 4 great releases. Stunning stuff.
Volvo owners know the importance of having the best quality fail-safe equipment. That's why Volvo owners internationally are changing to Maxxis steel radial tyres. Exclusively available from Ian Diffin World of Tyres and Mufflers.
To take a very close look at the Galleria's spectacular parades of the latest spring and summer fashion for all ages, every day from September 24 to 27, just insist.
Take me to the Galleria.
So every one of these flakes is 1 whole grain of wheat.
That's right. Simply steamed, rolled and toasted.
How come you know so much about wheat?
Wheaties, 100% whole grain wheat from Uncle Toby's.
You'll find this week's AFL finals a lot more exciting if you've got a bet on it. So, have a go.
If you buy a pool this year, we hope you know what you're getting into. Because there's only one pool with an award-winning built-in safety ledge. It's also the first pool to receive the Australian Design Mark for design and safety. And built by a quality-endorsed pool company that keeps below-ground pools way below in price. Buccaneer Pools.
Wouldn't you rather be in a Buccaneer pool?
Gloves? Visor. If you want a powerful bathroom cleaner without the scratching, hose, or all the gritty residue, then use new Ajax Liquid Gel with its unique gel form that effectively cuts through mold and bathroom scum. New Ajax Liquid Gel. Now you can get a powerful clean without the gritty residue. Ajax, serious cleaning made easy.
Big crowd in again, and they've just done the Macarena with John, which is something like the 2-step of the foxtrot.
Maca who?
Macarena.
Is that anything like McDonald's or what are you onto?
And there's the James Crawford tip in. He's got 21 points and he's just having one of those nights. He's got 21 points, 9 boards and assists and blocks, and it's his birthday.
Well, let's hope he goes on with it too. And of course the Wildcats need him to go on with it. They do still lack that spark. And a couple of those players out there seem to be a little bit down on form. The Hawks are certainly coming out and playing with some intensity at both ends of the floor, and they seem to be far more positive with their execution.
Saville, bounce pass in to Chief and that's the end of Fisher. Good night for Scott Fisher. He's out with 9:43 left in the game. He wasn't happy with the call.
Well, that's what happens when you stick your little maulers in there. He got a bit carried away. I don't know if we'll get a replay of it, but just sticks that hand in there, and so tempting when the ball's close. But unfortunately, it is just sticking that hand in there, and it's one of those things that's hard to get away with, and he knew he'd made the error as soon as he did it.
Well, he will now be an interested spectator. 13 points, 6 fouls. Not a happy camper. Hanson comes in.
7 rebounds as well for Scott Fisher, and he did sit a lot of minutes down, hasn't he?
Yes, he hasn't played a lot tonight.
The margin is 10. Here's Saville. Give and go from Zorna. The shot was always long. The Wildcats again. Vlahov's running the court. Had to be a good pass, it was.
Oh, that's not a bad block either. Have a fair amount of...
goaltending?
Yeah, well, you have a little bit of appreciation. The kid gave him 3 or 4 yard start and chased after it.
Gee, he nearly took his head off.
He was up there. He was really up there. He's got some springs.
And it's hit the backboard first, of course, and that's an automatic if it hits the backboard.
So, margin is 12 again. So the Wildcats have steadied in the crisis. Illawarra got it down to 3 just before 3/4 time.
Find the open man. Sorry, Tim, but they're very patient. I'm impressed with the patience and then the conviction when they finally do decide to take the shot. There's another little effort at a putback. Hansen got the second deal. Defensively came up with the ball for here. They need to push it down. Don't need to rush it. Just need to push it down and find the nice open man. That's a back-end situation and pretty close to a walk. Backdoor cut by Stewart should give them two. Nice execution, of course. This is what happens if you execute your offense with verve and you run that backdoor cut hard. Can't afford just to lope through there. Run it hard and you get a good bucket.
Another assist for James Crawford. He's got a couple now, a couple of blocks, 9 rebounds, 21 points. The JC.
There's a matchup, Armisen on Crawford.
Campbell and Vlahoff banging bodies off the ball. Vlahoff will win that 9 times out of 10. Here's Johnson trying to get around. 5-second shot clock. Campbell, another 3. That's the first miss for him from that range tonight. There's a loose ball there. Crawford. Another assist to James Crawford.
Well, he took Campbell down as well, and they withheld the call because Campbell was moving sideways back, but from the time James Crawford got the ball, Matt Campbell took the odds to that.
So Crawford and Stewart have combined on a couple of occasions, and all of a sudden the lead is out to 16. There's Timmins.
Need to build on this, Tim. It's so easy from 16 back to 10, back to 8. Got to work hard. You can get out to 20. Oh, there you go.
Swish.
Yeah, sweet rings. Very forgiving. 13 the margin. Timmins, he has to step up. Brendan Joyce needs players to move. Looking to match up now. Elbow entry again. Good hands by Timmins. Got there late.
He's in foul trouble too. He's got 5.
Actually starting to use a little bit of that post-release there, John, and getting a couple of good, strong plays. But that's what happens. You need to do that, especially if the wings are being denied. Get up there and work that hard, and they've got the fruits of their labour.
Yes, that's a good play. They've used it all the last 2 years now, the triangle offense, and they make that elbow entry, and the wingman makes the slash on the backdoor move. And if they can get there quickly and execute, there's no sweeter move in the game. And of course, it's a point-blank shot. And often, what we saw is what has to happen. The defense has to foul.
So once again, Andrew Vlahoff in double figures. I think that makes it game 67 in a row. In 67 games, he scored double figures. Posting up Zorna's had a quiet second half. 19 at half-time. He's now got 23. He is the game high scorer.
For a big man, he makes that spin move very, very comfortably, and then he pulls up with that soft jump shot.
Illawarra need another spark. Campbell provided a short time ago. He's sitting down. Hubbard's in rare minutes. Armisen's on the court. Still no Lafleur. He's out of action for the rest of the night.
His season's finished, Tim.
Crawford, baseline. Well done, Vlahoff. Put back easy.
Well, Hubbard's a man that can light it up, but we made mention earlier of how his points production this year had dropped off. He certainly has the ability to be a streak shooter. That'll be on Armisen. A little arm bar as Vlahoff's gone down. I've got to tell you, folks, the weight ratio between those two doesn't indicate the way Vlahoff went down. Vlahoff certainly went with the flow. Chuck Armisen sits down, and one wonders if that is the last time he will sit down in his career.
You'd hope not. You'd like to see him on the court at the end of the game, wouldn't you?
Well, I would think so. I would think so, Tim. I agree with that. But of course, Joyce has got the situation here where he's not giving up on this.
Yeah, he wants to win the game.
He wants to win the ball game, and that's going to be more important than whether Armisen is there for sentimental reasons or not.
It's going to get hard now because that's the biggest lead in the game. It's 17 points, so the Wildcats have certainly blown away the Illawarra Hawks since three-quarter time, or just before, in fact. Posting up again, Zorna, no look past Johnson in the corner, doesn't hit it. Saville, weak side rebound, back to the running. Johnson, well done, TJ.
You know, Tim, the Wildcats do this so often. They're in a situation where they can build and go on and really get a lot of things out of the game, and they start to relax, and that was so typical of it. That last situation down there, little running in, put back from Johnson.
There's this line out, and just have a look here. Didn't mess about that time, the Wildcats. They just inbounds the ball. Had trouble inbounding the ball the last couple of weeks.
They've struggled somewhat in their set plays. Crawford goes through and floats through the air, gets the the good look, but Hansen gets the benefit of the putback. 16 points for Pete Hansen. That's the most points he scored since he rejoined the roster. Hubbard thinking about it. Little shake and bake move. Pulled it up and gave it back to the captain of the Wildcats. Saville read it. Quick, good acceleration. Picked his pocket. Well, a repeat. What we've got, Timmins posting up there. Little reverse move. Good hands by Hansen. Long lead pass to Crawford. I don't think he's going to stop on this one. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's showtime. It's showtime right here.
"23 points, James Crawford." Boy, he's up there fairly well. And it's good to see the officials allowing the regaining of the equilibrium before he comes down. Sauna's had a good match as well. That's his 25th point.
Anthony Stewart sits down with the 8 points. He's got 4 assists, Anthony Stewart. He's got 4 rebounds as well. There's Crawford. Oh, gee.
Well, what else can he do in this 4.5, 5 minutes? I mean, that's a fairly trademark effort by James Crawford. He really has been a great athlete. Ricky Grace, well executed offense. And again, you can see the tired legs coming in from the Hawks. They got hooked up on the weak side screen. Grace was able to dive down to the low block.
Hubbard.
Oh, there's Campbell in there. He's got an offensive rebound. He's picked up the bonus foul. He's put it in the hole. He's done a fair job out here. Just watching that last shot by Hubbard, John, you could see that when he shot it, he's hoping it goes in. Yeah, he's not shooting the ball anywhere near with the confidence that he was or used to shoot the ball with.
James Crawford sits down and you can hear this 8,000-strong crowd acclaiming his efforts. In his 428th game, he has 23 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. He shot at 62%, and he really has been able to stand up, and he will, of course, remember this game.
He's gone down and high-fived the medical staff, the men who have seen him to, I suppose, 10,000 point. There's Matty Erb, who's enjoying the night too, because he's got on court. No-look pass from Hansen to Vlahovic, now back to Trehair, and Aaron Trehair now goes to 9 points.
Saville sits down, McDonald comes in. 4 minutes to go, folks. Scoreline 110 to 92.
Now, Trehair's actually only got 7. They actually gave that tip in just before three-quarter time to Hansen.
Of course, Hansen will tell you he always knew it was his. See, that's a tough move and very difficult to hold out.
He's got 27, Matty. He's on having a good night. Hasn't got many boards. He's only got 2 rebounds.
2 rebounds, and he's got 27 points at 53%. He's 9 from 10 from the foul line.
Guys, I'd like to see Harmison come out to finish the rest of his career off.
I'm with you, Mike.
I'm with you, Mike. Actually, I suggested it.
Oh, well, I'm with you then, Tim.
Look, at least we're together.
I'm glad we've sorted that out.
Here's Zuna. He's going to shoot from out a long way away and doesn't make it. So the Wildcats, they lead by 16. Hansen, Grace. Great
Grace, and he's hobbling and he wants a sub.
Ryan Gardner will get the last 2 and a bit minutes on court. Campbell likes this spot, and that didn't connect this time, though.
Hansen with a good defensive board. It's his 7th. Trehair, double teamed. Had ball control to get there, looking to penetrate. He'll dish to the right. No, he'll go off the glass.
Fairly nonchalant little drive there.
Now Ricky Grace hobbles to the bench and Ryan Gardner checks back in. So this is the last. Ricky Grace with 26 points.
57%, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. 5 rebounds and 2 assists from a triple-double. Was that 3? Have we got the other way?
3 assists, and that's turnovers.
Oh, we wouldn't like that.
No, that was an 8 in the turnover column, but we won't mention that. Just quickly, Illawarra, their last game for the year, some positive signs. Campbell, Zorna.
It's been a very positive last part of the season for them, and I think that they've certainly got a platform of players, a raft of players that they can build on.
They want Matty Earp to shoot. Gardner will go to the line and just decides to go into the courtside boxes and join all the people who didn't pay for their tickets.
Is that right?
Well, that's where they sit, the quickie ones.
You've dubbed them straight in, Tim.
Ben Pearce is always there, Channel 10 News are in, and John Barnett, the weatherman's there. Yeah, they're there again. Christina Morrissey's there.
Oh, goodness gracious, mate.
I'd check my desk on Monday when I go back if I was you, Tim. What Could be some sabotage going on.
Well, it's true.
You'd be fortunate the desk was there.
In the car park.
But they do come. They're big supporters of the Perth Wildcats. They wouldn't miss a game. There's Ryan Gardner on the line. And just soften that one up nicely. Wouldn't like that, missing both of that, but they might get another chance, Perth. And that was... Now, I don't think that's right.
Well, I think he's said one way and he's pointed the other. And it was quickly corrected. Hansen sits down. Pete Hansen sits down with 16 points and 7 rebounds. And we've got
Chuck
Armison's back in. Yeah, I'm glad you picked him up. You've been waiting for that and watching him.
Yeah, well, I just been looking. Mike Ellis went down and tapped Brendan Joyce on the shoulder and said, come on, get him in there. Posting up 3 seconds. And they'll get better. And Phil Doherty on the left, he had one of his best games last week against Brisbane, and they'll look forward to Licky getting back when he's fit. He's got knee problems still.
Oh, there's some positives for the Cats. What I don't like about what they've done tonight is that little touch of lethargy that's been out there in some of the play phases and their lack of execution in some of those areas. But they've got through and they've got the points on the board, and this should give them a top 4 finish, which is certainly the goal and the part of the deal that they work for every year.
They have to beat North Melbourne next week, though, don't they?
I think that there's a lot of pluses, but I think they will make the top 4 with this win tonight.
Very important. Now, Chuck Armisen wants the ball because I think he wants to score.
And I think they should give him a 3-pointer.
Just give him the ball and foul him or do something just as a token. Yes, Dean McDonald. Tough bucket, he makes it, and they're to 96. The margin is 19 points. So the Perth Wildcats found some winning form at home, beat Brisbane last week. They beat Illawarra here tonight, and next week they play North Melbourne. But they play again midweek here against North Melbourne in the mid-season competition. They're in the grand final of that. Here's Earp as he scored tonight. Van der Putten. Minute to go. Here's Armisen. Chuck.
Oh, bad luck.
They walk to the other end, are they?
Kick it back out to Chuck. Kick it back out to Chuck.
Give it back to him.
We're all chucking, don't worry. We want Chuck everywhere.
I think you've got a feel for a man that's played all those games. He'd love to get the last points of the game. I think you'll find number 22 on the foul line, or Earp, 25.
So if Earp scores, that means everyone for the Perth Wildcats has scored tonight. He's on the line.
Should be nice and loose for these too.
Look at that. All net.
Another point, and he'll be with 2 points alongside Ryan Gardner and Gavin Van der Putten. He'll get it back. He'll get it back.
He'll get. Oh, good hands by Zorna.
Yeah, terrific stuff. So we're in the closing seconds of this game at the Entertainment Centre. The Wildcats heading for the playoffs. Illawarra heading for a break. The last game. Zorna turnaround jumper doesn't go. McDonald's there. Van der Putten's there. Armison's there, and foul to put on McDonald.
The cuddling going on there.
Yeah, I just wanted to race up and check the deodorant. We'll take Gavin Van der Putten to the foul line. He's almost mugged there under the bucket. Lines up for the first ones, Gavin. In his first season in the Mitsubishi Challenge. wouldn't be too happy with their points conversion from the foul line. Second one looks a little better. Well, 33 on the clock.
Here he is, Harmison. Now, I think this has been set up. Oh, get it back, Chuck.
Give it to him again. Leave him right. Give it back to him.
Shoot that tray. Oh, geez, Dean, what are you doing?
Get it, Chuck.
Get real.
That's it, yeah!
That's
Well
what we wanted
done.
them to. They all stood off him. Word was out. Adrian Hurley's happy. Everyone's happy. It's a night out. Crawford's got 10,000. Harmison scored. It's all over here at the Perth Entertainment Centre. Gardner, does he finish with a bang? No, he does not. The Wildcats are winners. 117 to 98. The winning margin 19 points. The champagne is out. The balloons are out for James Crawford. They're mobbing him for his 10,000 efforts. And also Chuck Harmison is farewelled for his wonderful performance, a wonderful career. There they are, Scott Fisher and Chuck Harmison. James Crawford looks like he's been to a 21st. I wish he thought it was his. There he is, embracing Chuck Harmison. Fantastic stuff. And it was fitting that he'd ended the scoring, John Gardner.
Without any doubt whatsoever. Two of the real legends of this Mitsubishi Challenge. One finishing his career, the other one making his 10,000th point, and both of them appreciating the efforts over the years.
Wildcats saluting the crowd. The man of the moment is James Crawford. He's had one heck of a party tonight. He's finished with 23 points and 10 boards and 10,000 points, and he's with our own Mike Ellis.
Mike's down there. James, 10,000 points, mate. Fantastic. Congratulations from everyone here. You've got to feel very proud.
I am. You know, it's a milestone that I was happy to achieve, so it's something I feel good about.
Well, you're obviously fairly conscious about it during the game.
I was joking around with the guys, and I said when I get to, if I needed to score it, I'll go out and take a three, you know, and I was 1 off, so at least I got the 3.
It's not like you not to be able to count. I mean, you're normally right on the money with that. Mate, a great game. A bit tough towards the end there. It was only then when we really got in front.
Yeah, we're still trying to pick up our intensity and make sure we play tough defense. So we still got a little work to do, but we're happy with our progress at the moment.
Well, I saw some champagne running around here. You're going to have a bit of a nip tonight?
I think I might wait till after the championship. I'd like to get another ring before I start the celebration.
All right, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, James Crawford, a big round of applause.
All right, folks, let's hear it for the Alabama Slammer. James Crawford, 10,000 NBL points.
8:30 Sunday.
I'm the concierge. I know everything.
He takes care of tickets.
Mets, Dodgers, box seats.
He takes care of animals.
You guys planning on seeing any shows when you're in town?
He even takes care of people.
You don't have to babysit. I'm not going anywhere.
He's the concierge.
It's French for asshole.
For the first time on television, a wacky romantic comedy.
Thanks for dropping in.
With Michael J. Fox.
Genie in a suit. Just rub me and make a wish.
And Scent of a Woman's Gabrielle Anwar. The Concierge. 8:30 Sunday on 10.
Every day, motorists come into Ian Diffin stores with tyres damaged by objects like these, or from hitting potholes, curbs and other road hazards. And it can be expensive, as damage like this is not covered by the tyre manufacturer's normal warranty. That's why Ian Diffin now offers this exclusive road hazard protection warranty to his customers, which gives you free repair or pro-rata replacement if damage occurs, and also free puncture repair. Ian Diffin's exclusive road hazard warranty. It protects your pocket from tyre damage.
You'll find this week's AFL Finals a lot more exciting if you've got a bet on it. So, have a go.
Hi folks, it's our winter stock take sale, and it's a huge saving on all our curtains. See our large range of ready-to-hang curtains in many sizes and many colours. And our prices start from just $25 per width and continuous pinch meter balance from $25 per metre. And see our great range of continuous terraling from just $5.99 per metre, and the all-new ready-to-hang pelmet in many different fabrics from just $99. And only at Tony Sadler's home-based Wembley, Balcatta Junction, Lagoon, Rockingham and the Canny Vale Clearance House.
We are not alone. It's flown 90 billion light years to get here. The largest gas and electrical appliance sale in the history of mankind. Rick Hart's blockbuster sale days. And we're gonna kick some serious butt with videos for just $248, microwaves nuke for $146, remote color TVs just $284. And that's just a hint of what's to come. 2 days only, and only at 60 Guthrie Street, Osborne Park. Experience it before it's gone.
Stan doesn't finish work till 6:30, but he has fresh lasagna on the table 25 minutes later. And while Wendy works from 9 to 5, by 7 o'clock she still has the family sitting down to a delicious roast. And even though Mike and Sandy work late, they always find time for a delicious home-cooked meal. Fact is, not everyone has a lot of time these days. But when they ask what's to eat, they can always find something quick and easy. Something fresh. Something tasty and nutritious from Australia's Woolworths. That's why they call us the Fresh Food People.
To take a very close look at the Galleria's spectacular parades of the latest spring and summer fashion for all ages, every day from September 24 to 27, just insist.
Take me to the Galleria.
History repeats with Enzo. Split Ends meets the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra to deliver a piece of timeless beauty. All of Split Ends' greatest hits with the NZSO. What was great is now classic. History repeats with Enzo.
An impressive scoreline for the Perth Wildcats, 117 to 98. The final score margin was 19 points. A fitting night for James Crawford, but also Chuck Harmison, and he's with Mike Ellis.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Well, Chuck, first of all, congratulations on a fantastic career. You've got to be happy with what you've done in this league.
Yeah, I am, Mike. The only regret is not having won a championship, and you know how it feels because you won a couple of them.
Well, that's right. I mean, it's one of those things that there's a lot of players that have played for many years and haven't got there, but I think what you've given to the league has been fantastic. Do you feel it's time? Are you happy with the fact that you're retiring?
Yeah, I am. I've had my go. 15 years is a long time. There's too many good young kids coming up and too many big young kids. I can't compete with them anymore. And we've got some guys on our team now, Matty Zoner and Glenn Seville and Matt Campbell, that they can take over from where I've left off. So. Well, that's right. I think you've given them certainly a great example to follow. Now, tonight's game was big all round. James got his 10,000th point. And, I mean, you guys have been in the league the same amount of time, 15 years. You've been head-to-head plenty of times. Yeah, there's nobody better than James, I tell you. The way he played tonight and the way he's played over his career, you just got to give him so much credit. He's just one heck of a player. All right, well, what are you going to do with all this spare time, Chuck? You're going to have heaps on you. Well, I'm going to take about 6 weeks off and just recover, I think, and hopefully get a position with the Hawks in the administration and still be around basketball for a long time. Oh, well, that's great, because I'd hate to see you just disappear completely. Well, mainly, congratulations on a fantastic career. You really have been an ornament to the game and a fine example for many youngsters around. And best of luck with whatever it is you do from now on. Thanks, Mike. Okay, Timmy, back to you.
Thanks very much, Mike. Congratulations to Chuck Harmison, James Crawford and the Perth Wildcats. Winners 117 to 98 from John Gardner, Mike Ellis and all the 10 Sports team. It's Tim Gossage bidding you a farewell from the Perth Entertainment Centre.